All right. It says we're live, but it's giving us. It says
Uh-oh.
we've been live for 35 seconds. I don't understand
I hope
this
so.
thing. Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
No, it looks like we're just coming on. Oh, I got to adjust those stream settings too. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today?
How we doing? How we doing? Open D&D, welcome. Hope for the best.
Let me turn this on. It's on low latency. That's fine. How's it going, Justin? Hope for the best. Nice to see you. Open D&D says boom.
Boom.
I guess I can highlight these things.
Open D&D also says, was Gary like Al Bundy? Should we no longer worship the guy? Times have changed. Let's evolve RPGs. I hope Gary is like Al Bundy because I would worship him.
Yeah, that would be
he was like
based.
Dream GM.
Yeah. Great to see y'all. You too,
Likewise.
man. Hey, what's going on with your book? You put in I saw that you got your proofs in.
Yeah.
Hope for the best is, of course, if I'm not forgetting, because he has a million screen names. This is our buddy Drew, who made the Epic of Dreams. It's on its second printing, the new Basilisk edition. Waiting to get my hands on that. I got the PDF, but I have Jean-Luc Picard syndrome, so
yes.
I'm waiting for my physical copy.
Which, by the way, until the last day to reimburse him through the back channels for my print cover or print copy, I should say.
Yeah, and
very excited for that.
I'm also super excited because it's printed by Mixam, not Lulu, not Drive-Through. So I'm excited to see what kind of quality it is. This is an offset print run, so it's not indicative of what like their print on demand quality would be. But they do seem like a good company to work with if you want to do offset print runs, because you can have like stitched bindings and like the bookmark thing.
Yeah, they seem like a really cool option and sort of an up and coming, I guess, route for POD stuff.
I did reach out to them as well to ask if they're gonna do like Shopify integrations or anything, because it's like Lulu integrates with Shopify integrates with YouTube. You can sell your stuff here, anywhere, blah blah blah. They have a print on demand thing where you can basically, it's called Print Link, where they give you a link basically that you can embed on your website, put anywhere. You can send it to people in chat, whatever, and it'll allow them to just open the store and buy their thing right there. You can put like a digital preview.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but they said that Shopify integration is coming someday, but it's going to be a while. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also nice when like companies respond to you.
I know, right?
When they're small enough that they still have to respond to people.
Yeah, anyone who has a business of any kind, being responsive puts you above like 95% of the competition.
Which reminds me, I haven't checked if we've gotten any complaints from our new website as of yet. So I should do that. We should take our own advice. We should do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah.
Figure that one out. Oh, Crafty Matt, sup? I went and got myself the Rona.
All right.
He's just making stuff up, though. It's fake.
Yeah, that's true.
So Mixam is shipping the softies in a couple of days. Awesome.
Cool. Excellent.
Justin says, I've been writing a sequel to my character's backstory. I've gotten this volume up to 490 pages so far. As it should be.
Nice.
Which, by the way, I put out a short yesterday, which I had posted the clip on Twitter, but I made it into like an actual YouTube short. And that one did like 5 times the views that it usually does, which is pretty cool. I have no idea how the shorts algorithm works, but it got like 4,500 views or something. So I was pleased with that.
Nice.
Primeval Fantasy RPG. Welcome. What is up? Crafty Matt says, while I am homesick, I am reading and learning Battletech. Yeah, I've seen Crossface.
I've seen a lot of stuff going around about Battletech.
Yeah, it does look fun. And I do love, I played just an ungodly amount of MechWarrior 2 in the mid to late 90s across various operating systems as they during that time.
Yeah.
I really, really liked MechWarrior a lot.
I saw what's their name? The Dark Souls people doing releasing the trailer for their
Armored
game.
Core.
Armored Core, that's right. Which I understand.
Which is crazy because it's
popular.
like
I've never played it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember the last time they made an Armored Core game. I think it was like PS2 was the last time I remember that. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was crazy because I forgot that From Software were the people who made that. Yeah. So that'll be pretty cool. We had to rebuild the hardcover file from scratch, so it took an extra 2 weeks. Oof.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, that's not good. Sorry about that, man. Offset and Mixam have provided superior quality for me. Yeah, that's the other thing. So Drew has done like a bunch of stuff. I think he's printed zines, and this is, of course, not the first time that he's done. He's fulfilled 2 Kickstarters now on, or is in the process of fulfilling the second Kickstarter for the Epic of Dreams, which is a big book. It's like 300 pages or something like that. A lot of really cool stuff in it. And like I said, we've only done Nick and I went through the PDF, just like skimming through and like reading various portions. There's some really good stuff in there. And some stuff that we weren't so sure about. So
definitely we'll do a deep dive once that gets fulfilled.
Yeah. How did you write for the reader? So RPG players, usually not actually game designers. Hold on.
How do you?
Yeah, how do you write for the reader? So for RPG players, since they're usually not game designers, how do you make instructions
simpler? For the reader? RPG players usually not. Okay. How do you make instructions simpler?
That's a good question. That's something that we're going to have to deal with.
Yeah. It also depends. Not to shift, I guess, the onus, but it does depend, to some considerable degree on the mechanic. If your mechanic actually is burdensome, nothing's going to save you from that. But it's a good question. We can.
I think it comes
high level about it, but it's definitely something we're going to have to a bridge we're going to have to cross in the future. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think it comes down to just like style of how you write, because there's like, I got this game. It's not Fist of the North Star. That's the anime that it's kind of one of the big inspirations for it. Something.
Oh, this is the sort of fan exalted.
Yeah, it's like someone kind of made Exalted, but not terrible. And it's a very different setting, but like similar power level and feel. And that book has a very conversational and like fun, like you get the feel of the game in it. It's very easy to read. So I think it just comes down to the style of the writer, honestly.
This is helpful for any type of writing, but I would imagine especially so for explaining rules or mechanics is to have someone or have the computer read out your writing, and whether it makes sense or not, or whether it's incomprehensible. I think that would be a huge benefit. It's good regardless, but especially when you're trying to convey, here's how you do something.
Right.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, anytime that I write anything, I read it out loud to make sure for this exact reason, to make sure it sounds, because I can actually read pretty technical stuff and not, it doesn't bother me or whatnot, but it's once you read something out loud, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, and the game is called Lone Wolf Fists, and I have the PDF, which we might be able to look through.
Cool.
Not expertly laid out, in my opinion. And again, I've only been like doing my brief skim through of it. I haven't really dove into it yet, but it's cool. I will say that, and it's very readable, but the layout's just not. It's not there for me. Shauner says, Old School Essentials is my least favorite book from Gygax. Yeah, me too. Yeah. I don't know if the print link with Mixam pricing is tenable for bigger books like, But for zines and brochures, hell yeah. Yeah, I was looking at that. They are pricey. But again, more options is good. It's over time, I think,
and that
cheaper,
like I was about to say, it might
market
change.
will get better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we like capitalism, and we're not dumb socialists. We know how the economy works. So
yes.
Anyway, Justin says, I haven't been to your website yet, but I will file an official complaint just because you asked. It's rainbow flagged colored. Great.
Excellent.
Love to see it. Song lyrics as backstory. Yeah.
Honestly, that would be better. It's at least brief.
Yeah.
You know?
And gives you the emotional content, the flavor and the feel of it. Hope for the best says shorts is bae until the album daddies decide otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah. Quite true.
I don't know how TikTok is going to continue to compete with YouTube on this, because YouTube's late to the game on the short form content, but like all these companies like Facebook, the other places that are doing short form content are pulling all the ad revenue off of it because they just don't make money on it. TikTok can essentially only make money through this. YouTube has so much fucking money that they can just do this, and it's getting better and better. Like the algorithm's getting better and better, and like they can just burn cash on it.
Yeah,
and they don't have to make money from it.
They don't have to, and they may, or they can, play the long investment. That's what they're doing with YouTube streaming as well. They were late to the game, but Twitch is so bad in so many ways.
Yeah.
We'll see.
BattleTech has the best lore ever.
Oh. Again, a huge blind spot in terms of like genre and fiction, mech stuff, anime in general, but like mech stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, people are going to lose it. BattleTech is not anime. BattleTech is Western mechs.
Oh, okay.
Robotech is anime. Yeah.
I have to get my my terminology. Actually,
yeah.
I don't fuck. Get fucked.
Yeah. Primeval Fantasy RPG says, I took your advice, started this new channel. Nice.
Nice.
Old podcasts, charting new ones, so we'll see. Nice.
Hell yeah.
So I got to go to YouTube since we're in StreamYard, so I can find your channel
right now.
Hopefully it will allow me to. Oh, where are you? Go to channel and subscribe. Okay, we are subscribed.
Nice.
Crafty Matt. Crossface and I are going to try and play online via webcams and a referee. Nice.
Oh, very cool.
I think there has to be some sort of like online BattleTech. Like I know there's like MechWarrior 5 or 6 or something like that is like the online MechWarrior game. I know that's not what you're doing, but there's got to be some like actual way to play with a hex map where you can
some sort of layout
move your pieces around and whatnot.
Yeah, an overlay or something.
Marshall, can I say the R word yet? You can say whatever you want.
That's right.
I just won't I can't guarantee that I'll read it. Marshall is a very old friend and a wonderful, wonderful person. Hope for the best says, rip it to shreds, fam, referring to the Epic of Dreams. I mean, we don't rip things to shreds.
No.
It's like, no.
We do some stuff, but that stuff deserves it.
Right. Which we will be we will be watching something in just a moment with all of you that made us laugh quite a bit. RPG Pundit says hello.
Hey.
How is it going, Mr. Urbanski?
Good to see you.
And the good thing with the AI revolution is with clarity, you can always have ChatGPT rewrite what you're writing to see if it makes sense. Yeah, I actually, a friend of mine just sent me a link to his new website for his business, and I caught a typo like instantly. And he was like, "Oh, I just caught all through ChatGPT and have it correct your mistakes." And it generally will, and it's really pretty good at it. His last run with Troll Lord Games was an okay book set. Must be talking about Gygax. After responding to Shauner's comment about how OSE is his least favorite Gygax game, which is it's true. Yeah.
Again, something I do want to dive into. I've said it before: Castles and Crusades.
Yes. I've heard nothing but good things. I really like. I love the covers on those books. Like those, that alone is like enough to buy them.
Yeah. Toto soundtrack. Yeah, Dune. Or no, not Dune. Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon had the Toto soundtrack. That's right.
There are online BattleTech tabletop simulators, but a lot of the math is done for you, and it starts. Feels like a strategy video game. No, I understand that makes sense. Dune. I am pretty excited for Dune Part 2. I really love all of Denis Villeneuve's movies. I enjoyed Dune quite a bit. We need to rewatch next time you're in town. We need to watch the Lynch Dune again.
Right. Yeah. Because it's been a very long time for you.
It's only been like a year or two, but I hated it when I saw it. Which, to my credit, Lynch hates that movie as well because the studio ruined it. But I hated it so much.
Yeah. I really like the first. Yes. Not Queen for.
Freddie Mercury played Fade Rotha in the Lynch Dune.
No, that was Sting.
That's the joke.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It got me. Okay.
You don't get it? I'm retarded.
Oh. Damn.
Shauner likes both versions.
I really liked the Villeneuve. Yeah. Dune Part 1. My only I guess criticism of it, apart from I've heard enough Hans Zimmer and Zimmer-esque.
Oh, I know.
Like let it go. Like I'm over that. I really like the scale of it. Things are grand, things are big as they are in the books, but it feels like a little antiseptic. Like it's a little too clean for me, especially not like I don't like it, but that's especially on Arrakis. I wanted, I don't know, like a little bit more grit, a little bit more personality to it beyond the grand scale.
Yeah, it's very slick. They know.
But again, a movie. It's fantastic. Nevertheless,
I loved the brutalist architecture of Arakeen. It's not exactly how I imagined it, but it's like cooler looking in my opinion. And it's like they got I don't know, they really nailed a lot of the feel of it. My criticism of that movie is that if you haven't read Dune, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? But I don't know. My favorite version of Dune still is the 2000 Sci-Fi Channel miniseries. It's very theatrical. Some of the acting is very bad. The effects are so dated, but it doesn't matter. Like there's some minor changes to it, but they hit like everything. And I like the theatricality of it, the psychedelic weirdness, and
which is part of it, right?
The guy who plays Baron Harkonnen.
I know. I was gonna say I forget who that actor is, but I know I've seen him in several other things. He's awesome.
He's in Rome. He's like the page or the caller or whatever. His name is Gordon. I'll have to send you a link to a fan edit of Lynch's Dune that makes it a much better movie. Well, he was talking recently after seeing the new Dune and being like, maybe I'll go back and see what I can do with that movie.
The studio would be more like, because they're not making any new money from Dune. From the original Dune, and it would be, people would eat that up. I would.
Right. My thing is, it's like
I'd pay $15 in the theater to watch it again for like a re-release, like a Lynchian re-edit or whatever.
It's and like the the thing is, if these movie studios, if you're gonna make all this money, what's it for if not to make more David Lynch movies?
Of course, he's not going to be around forever.
Come on. I don't care if the Lynch movies aren't financial successes. It doesn't subsidize it. All right, just dump as much money as he wants and needs.
Yes.
keep him making stuff until he checks out. 4-hour Lynch Dune. I'd see
Lynch
it.
Dune.
Yeah,
what was a 4-hour, 5-hour Jodorowsky Dune before Lynch came in? You know, if only.
Even though it was very cheaply made, I think the sci-fi version of Dune was the most aesthetically correct. Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Very much the case with a lot of sci-fi. Yeah. Oh.
The Dune movies are great.
Mm-hmm.
Sci-fi made a groovy Alice in Wonderland too. I never saw that.
I never saw that. Sci-fi had some really good stuff. Mid 90s to early 2000s.
Yes.
TV was the best time.
Yeah,
for sci-fi.
and it like
by
was
far
off with Battlestar Galactica. I think The Expanse started on Sci-Fi and then moved to Amazon.
To Amazon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Expanse is pretty good. It's basically like, what if like the progressives like won and like that's Earth, you know? It's like everyone, like nobody has a job and like the government takes care of everything. It's like just terrible. I have a few edits of 80s Dune. They're all good in their own way.
Nice.
Well, anyway, I mean, so yeah, our topic very loosely, I threw up talking about Gygax and old school essentials and ShadowDark, since Crossface convinced me to get old school essentials. They were on a stream. I think it was probably on Victor's channel. But someone brought up ShadowDark, and I said, the more that I read it, the more I actually really like it. And Crossface was like, but what about old school essentials? Like, well, what does it do differently? You know, like what is better about it? And I was like, I don't know. I don't have old school essentials.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for my physical copy, but you can see definitely that ShadowDark looked at like the layout of OSE and replicated it very, very effectively. And OSE is another game that is really well laid out. It's pretty cool.
The books and the layout look really beautiful in like a very stark, minimalistic kind of way. From what I've seen other YouTube channels going through it, flipping through it, reading from it, showing bits and pieces of the digital copy.
I will say though, aesthetically, the art in ShadowDark way better. It is so good.
And as we've said many times, you know, art is tremendously important. It may well be that is what they do, what ShadowDark does much better, and that's enough. It may be. Right.
The Expanse is based on a Traveler campaign. I heard that recently.
Yeah.
We still haven't gotten Traveler yet. I have never read it, so it's on the list.
You know what? I may have said this before on a stream. For as much as a meme as it is online, I've never read it. I know nothing about it other than what the name of the game entails and what other people have said about it. I want to look at the GURPS core rules, specifically because so many really interesting novel series or other pieces of media have started as GURPS games. I'm a big fan of the Malazan books. That world started as a GURPS game. I think one or two other notable fantasy series. So I'm curious if it's enough to jumpstart the imagination to create these really in-depth worlds that are at least interesting, if not compelling. They're not for everybody, but definitely want to give it a look.
I've heard that the GURPS settings are really, really good. Even if people don't really generally like the world, like the rules.
Yeah, like the source books for everything, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, like the setting books or whatever they are. But again, that's just one kind of area of the hobby that I have not gone into.
Yeah.
I think one of my brother's friends had brought his GURPS books over a couple of times when I was a kid. And like I was already struggling with the Player's Handbook and DMG for second edition, and I tried reading GURPS, so I was like, nope, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Democrats in space. Yeah, my brother. On that note, my Democrats in space. This is about The Expanse.
Yeah.
100% true. It's like if the Democrats got global domination.
Is the red room in chat idea for a new game?
No, what I was saying when I was a kid, because my brother was like, we're all separated by like 4 or 5 years individually, and so like my oldest brother had been playing first edition in the 80s, and in the 90s, my other brother, was playing second edition, and I always wanted to play with him and his friends, but I was like 9 years old, and so my teenage brother was like, go away, like I don't want you to play. And so he told me that I could play when I had read the DMG twice. And it was a very effective way to get me to go. I still have, to this day, I've never played D&D with my brother. But does Gygax's OSE have a torch rule? ShadowDark has a torch rule. Yeah, the torch rule is very much just a novelty. You can like instantly you can apply it to any other dungeon crawling game if you want. Might put pressure on keeping the game flowing and or just keeping it moving, so you're not sitting there. If you're sitting there, arguing over how to open a door for 45 minutes, you're just burning your torches. Things are going to get heavy very quickly. Yeah.
Keep the action flowing.
Yeah. Do you have to buy ShadowDark? No, you don't have to buy anything. The thing is, I will probably run ShadowDark as like a palate cleanser just every once in a while, or like a pickup game or something like that. It seems very easy for that, and I just like the aesthetic so much that I'll probably give it a shot. This was the other thing. As far as buying old school essentials, there's like a million different configurations that you can get. I didn't know which one to get, so I asked them in chat. I was like, which one do I get? Like the rules tome or
I've heard that set? They're all compiled, or they're separate books or box set, or
and so Crossface said just get the rules tome, so I got that. And maybe there's other supplements that have like a lot more tables in them for like world generation and stuff like that. ShadowDark actually does have quite a few fun tables for like generating a hex map, like randomly generating dungeons, but also for just things when you're in town, like different it's not like rumors, I don't think, but it's just like little weird things that can you can roll up that can randomly seed an adventure. There's a lot of really cool stuff like that in it. It's just it's
very, like you said about Dune, it's an apropos word. It's a very slick very slick product.
It's like if you want to make a digest sized rule book, ShadowDark and OSE are like, you can't ignore them. They're so well laid out. Crafty Matt, OSE has a very CalArts style of art to it. Yeah, and I hate that. I hate CalArts style. The game is superior. The game is a superior OSR game to everything, but in the art department. Yeah, I agree. The black and white pieces, for the most part, are pretty good. It's like the full color splashes that are sometimes like 2 pages. I was like, I don't like these.
I'm not familiar with the term Cal art. What does that refer to?
Let me look it up and see if we can share this.
I'm sure I'll catch the vibe immediately
you will.
If I have an example, but
okay. So let me. Oh my god, that's loud. I am such a fucking boomer. Bear with me for 1 second. We are going to present. Like this.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. It's like.
That blows hard.
Yeah,
that's
continually memed about how, because this is like how everything is drawn now. It's so terrible.
Ugh.
Horrible.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, not based. Extremely cringe.
You're doing so well.
You not based. You were accused of extreme cringe. Let's see. Pundit says the art in Sword and Caravan and its source books is great, as good as Lion and Dragon. I imagine so. I mean, a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but a lot of the art is public domain for like the medieval authentic material, and so if you have if your game fits in a period, this is just for people making games out there.
Yeah.
If your game fits in a period like before 1920, you have so much public domain art that is so good that you can include in your book for free.
Yeah, and you should.
And latest example of this, talked about this already many times, is Wretched Epoch, 2nd edition, has so much good art in it. That's all like beautiful, incredible art pieces, Art Nouveau. Like, it's amazing. So as long as you're not doing like modern or or sci-fi or something that's not going to be in the public domain, there's a whole host of really good art out there. And I haven't checked out Sword and Caravan yet, simply because I have enough to play with Lion and Dragon for quite a while.
Yeah.
And that
is this week the triumphant return?
This Sunday is the triumphant return. Everybody is back from vacation.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I have 4 weddings in 6 weeks in a couple of months. So yeah, it's going to be a slog. So we'll see how often the game gets run in that case. But yeah, it's coming back.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't have Sword and Caravan yet. I will pick that up eventually, but that'll just make me want to run that
Sword
game.
And Caravan.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just just stick to one game. Yeah. Out of character torch rule. It is out of character, but again, it's like this is my thing with a lot of these old school games. And the reason that I don't always like them is because a lot of these incentives, we talked about this, like gold for XP, it's a player incentive.
Yeah.
Like it is a very good incentive for the game. It gets people like they want to go into dungeons and get the gold and do all of this, but it's like it is an out of character motivation. And what you want is for your game incentives, your player incentives, and your character incentives. Hopefully those should be kind of in line with each other. That's the kind of game I like to play.
Right.
And so this torch rule, this is another one of these game incentives, and like ways in which you're like you are playing a game and there is this thing pushing you forward, as opposed to like just being immersed in the world and the role play.
Correct. Yeah, we've talked a lot about that.
Yeah.
Possibly off stream, I'm not sure, but
I think our very first stream we talked about gold for XP. That's when Gelatinous Rube showed up, and we made fun of him. And then he unblocked us after that, which was interesting. He blocked us, then came on our stream. We made fun of him a little bit. Then he unblocked us, and he made a video, by the way, that I watched because I'm writing a blog post about reaction roles and social mechanics. He made a video on reaction roles that was actually very good, except for about 5% of it that I wholeheartedly disagree with. That was clearly about us.
Yeah.
Shauner says, Pundit's books have the best art. Next place would be Total Party Skill books. Not familiar with the Total Party Skill books.
He has a YouTube channel, Total Party Skills.
I've heard of this.
He also makes he's fairly prolific, making indie, like smaller sized books. Very interesting channel.
Cool. We are subscribed now.
Guy.
Yeah, but that's true. Pundit's books do have great art, like Lion and Dragon, Dark Albion, Cults of Chaos. Although that I think that's just a much shorter book, so there's not as much art because there's fewer pages.
Right.
But yeah, it's they're all really, really good. And that's the thing is, like I was saying, like it all fits together very well too, because there are some books that have very good art, but the style is just all over the place. And I like having a cohesiveness to everything.
I seem to remember for Golden Glory, which is
that's the second edition.
It's the second edition, like reprint is the wrong word, but it's basically AD&D second edition, with all the IP serial numbers filed off, and they use I'm blanking on the public domain art from the period. And from what I recall, it's quite good, quite appropriate.
It's quite good. Although we are savage haters of AD&D second edition, so
very much so.
It does not save it.
Yeah. And that is why I was the reason I got the PDF of it. I didn't purchase the book because I was curious because my thought was, when I was a kid, if I had started gaming young, in middle school or what have you, this would have been the edition I would have started with. So let me see what it's about, and bought it. Cool cover, cool.
Hated it.
And hated it. Like, this sucks. And then I never opened it again. And then someone else decided to run a second edition game, and then I got the actual player's guide and still hated it. Hated it even more because I'm actually doing it.
Open D&D says it's easy to reskin GURPS, which I think is the point, since it is the point, general universal role-playing system. The 1990s GURPS historical source books were very good. Yeah, that is what I have heard.
Nice.
Can I play the opposition in Democrats in Space? Because that sounds like fun.
Yeah. Well, that is the only viable player player faction.
Wretched Democrats is redundant. Yeah.
Accurate and true.
Yeah. OSE has a torch rule. OSE's website has a downloadable torch tracker. Okay. Yeah. So I guess this is the thing. Like, if you are like, I didn't know about old school essentials before I saw ShadowDark. And so like, I totally get that people are like, there's nothing new about this game. That doesn't bother me though.
Yeah. That's also, you don't need to do something. You don't need to reinvent.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a paradigm shift for something to be appealing, attractive,
right,
or vastly more popular. It could be the fact that there's just
this little twist on it that you like.
Little twist on it, or it has an implied setting. It has a very evocative art style. It's going for a very particular thing.
And the thing that it does have that OSE doesn't, and this is just because they're literally different goals here, is that it is an attempt to bridge 5e players into a more old school style. And so it's got things like advantage, disadvantage, and ascending armor class, thankfully, which is optionally in OSE. But it's like, I don't think that things necessarily need to be wholly original for them to be good.
Right. Almost everything that we like would fail that rubric.
Oh man, we just got the best comment for the segue into our next segment from Justin. Dungeon Craft released a video with a great host today about a Jane Austen themed role-playing game. The thing I noticed about the art in the books, it's only roughly a third of the people were white. Lol.
That is true. I noticed other things. Great segue.
Yeah, great segue
on the same brainwave patterns here,
because we are going to watch that video and talk about it.
Deathbringer here. Subscribe so you'll never miss an upload.
Hi, I'm Kira. Welcome to Dungeon Craft. I'm Professor Dungeon Master's TA.
And Nick, if you want me to pause it, just let me know.
Okay.
This week, and I'm going to be reviewing The Good Society, a Jane Austen RPG.
And I am Deathbringer. I bury NPCs under Northanger Abbey.
Good Society is
there you go.
RPG.
Minority count one for a period Victorian or Elizabethan. But this art is such a trash. It's like,
Anna, shut up. Apologies, everyone. Gart, oh my god. Give me 1 second.
So you can tell, like, look at all these faces. They all have 1,000-yard stare. Look at the guy on the right.
Come here.
Chick in the green dress. Everyone is sort of looking blankly at nothing. It's very off-putting and Just weird.
We still talking about the art?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can also tell. I don't know who the artist is, but I am calling it. This is a woman who you can just tell, at least the characters.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the background. That's definitely a different person. I think maybe I'm wrong, but
I don't know.
If I'm proven wrong, I'll deny it and claim that it's a lie. But
should I start this back up?
Yeah.
All right.
Known as Storybrugger's role-playing, Good Society is set in the world of the Regency period. So it's going to be inspired by some of Jane Austen's most timeless novels, from Persuasion
Most timeless.
to Pride and Prejudice.
How do I kill the zombies?
Not Pride and Prejudice.
I just on a side here, it's fine, I suppose. I'm not a fan of the this guy's gimmick with the miniature the Doombringer. It's a come up with a new gimmick. That thing's played out. So some of
change your channel. Rebrand.
I will say this guy does have some really good videos.
Oh yeah, no, I love Dungeon Craft.
Yeah,
I am going to be experimenting with his video.
Initiative-less combat.
Yeah, getting rid of initiative and just having everything happen simultaneously. I'm going to give that a try in Lion and Dragon. Because I just don't like batting order initiative. Yeah.
This game emphasizes collaborative storytelling, and it's
These
a
cards.
Game where everyone gets to GM and explore a shared narrative vision.
Everyone gets to GM, explore a shared narrative. We need a bingo card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like literally a story game, right?
So it seems that way. I would say that this is worse than a story game. A story game, you at least have a goal to try and tell a story. The more she's going to explain more about what the premise of the game is and what the quote unquote objective is. Well, I'll let her finish, and I'll loop back.
Okay.
To engage in a complex network of relationships, rumors, and reputation that connect a cache of characters with equally sophisticated.
Also, back up for a second. Back up to that previous. I just noticed. Is this supposed to have like Jane Austen with magic? What's dumping the?
I have no
tea
idea.
Leaves and it's like a floating.
Right. Oh no.
Is that like an error, or is there supposed to be?
No, that has
magic?
to be. I mean, it's glowing purple.
Yeah.
The cat has a glowing purple eye as well.
Oh.
Yeah, this has to be Jane Austen with magic.
Yeah, even worse.
And Asian people apparently as well.
Yeah.
Period accurate.
Period accurate interracial romance on the bottom right
simulator.
There. And fetish gear on the
that connect a cache of characters with equally sophisticated inner lives and motives. For this review, I'm only going to be covering the physical base game, printables, and playing cards. However, for those interested, a digital version of the game and a modified LARP rule set are both available as PDFs on the publisher's website.
Even better, we can LARP.
Yeah. Oh.
Is aesthetically pleasing. It's available in hardcover and it's case bound with this vibrant red and gold thread. The end pages are tea green, perfect for afternoon parties and high drama of an Austen story, and decorated with a floral pattern.
I will say, I guess the only compliment I can give this game so far, I think green is a good color here. It actually doesn't look bad.
I mean, it looks like it has a nice binding as well, and it has the bookmark.
Nice binding.
Yeah. I can't fault them for that.
Comes with smooth, glossy, cut-edge pages and a green ribbon.
The
book is also fully illustrated and printed in color. Pages. The illustrations by Raven Warner are beautifully composed.
Disagree. The white guy, the white man is
carrying all the bags. Look at his face. So the thing is, I don't think that these pages are actually all that glossy. I think they're just coded.
Maybe the lighting.
Yeah.
It might be.
And colored, bringing the romantic world of Austin to life. This set isn't complete without the accompanying deck of desire, relationship, and connection cards. The portrait art on the cards is all the work of the illustrator Aviv Or, who also created illustrations officially used by the Critical Role team. Here,
of course.
So much
yeah
falls into place.
Do we want to catch up on the chat? I'm sure it's piling up.
Yeah.
All right. Justin said, art is very important and it can go very wrong because of ideology. True. Yes. Check out our video on Exalted 3rd Edition and Exalted Essence. It is a horror show of ideology ruining art and making everything inverted and ugly. It's cheap art to produce, Cal Arts, yeah. And yes, of course, we agree once again. Yes, period art works if it's relevant. Correct. So bad for RPGs unless you're 8 years old. I don't even agree with that. I think Cal Arts style for RPGs, like as an 8-year-old, I would have hated it, you know?
Yeah, it's a totally different thing. Yeah.
When I was 8 and I was looking through the D&D books, and like there's some we had some of the source books that had like some really violent art in it. It was awesome. Kids love that shit. Yeah. Little boys especially, they love dark, weird, scary stuff.
Which goes without saying. This is there are no women in
right. There are no women in tabletop role-playing games, as you can see by this video we're watching. Make a meta currency first. That's what's missing. That must be for Gold for XP. Gold for XP is very limiting to emulation of genre. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like I don't want to just play in the same. This is why dungeon crawling is also, it's like, yeah, it can be fun, but like we're doing that every time. Like we're going into the dungeon every time, or like
the only time in books, in movies, in media, in myth, you know, you're going to the dungeon for something, or you have to pass through the dungeon to get to where you're going.
Right.
It's not in and in of itself.
Right.
You know, for economic improvement.
Yeah. And so this is another advantage of having a publisher, is that Pundit's Games, he doesn't do the art or the layout or anything. He writes the game and the material, and then his publishers take care of everything else. And they've done a very good job, in my opinion. With the exception, I have to say, of the Invisible College. I like the way the PDF looks, but I have both the drive-through and the Amazon copy, and I think there's something wrong with their PDF file that they're using to print those books, because we've talked about it on the stream before. There are issues in those books, and that make them to varying degrees of readability on it, and they differ between the drive-through version and the Amazon version.
Right.
But all the other books that I have are quite stunning. Excellent. And I like a lot of the art in the Invisible College. That full page one of the chick sitting in the pentacle or the pentagram, really cool.
Really cool.
Torch Rule Convo. Oh, this is a great format for a comment telling us what you're talking about as we catch up. This is awesome. Thank you, Primeval Fantasy RPG.
Yes.
Torch Rule Convo. This is why I'm anti-XP for accomplishing goals or for playing your character well. I only do advancement in those specific things that each character has been doing. So I think that works in skill-based systems. That makes the most sense to me. Like if you're doing certain things, but so we were talking about XP for gold offline a little, I think probably last week, because I came across, it was like XP ratings for monsters. And I was like, I also hate XP for monsters.
Right.
Because again, it's not like that was, I think a lot of people, when they first hear about XP for gold, they've had it so ingrained, these other experience styles, that they're like, for gold? Like what? But it's like, it's the same thing for monsters.
Same thing as monsters. It's forcing you, encouraging and forcing you to grind like an MMO.
Right. And we're not saying they're exactly the same. I know they do play differently. You're getting different levels of experience for different
I'm saying they're the same. They're effectively the same.
They are effective in principle. In principle, they are the same.
Yeah.
CalArts style would only work if you're running a CalArts type of RPG, which would be horrible. Which I presume would be something where the PCs would all be magical, superpowered, non-binary demisexuals in junior high school.
Yeah. So D&D.
Modern D&D, at least.
Modern D&D. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Drew. Have a good night.
Drew.
I have a continual light spell cast on a gemstone since the 1980s. OSE is just reorganized basic expert. It changes very little from basic expert D&D, just lays it out in easy to read bullet points. I
which is a tremendous boon. It's a huge improvement. It's one of the, it's an example of not having to reinvent something,
right?
Or you bring something quote unquote new to the table to
literally just to take something and make it easier to use, like easier to consume. Like,
you're taking the idea, you're taking the vision, and you're presenting it better in a more evocative or a more efficient way.
And you're not interfering with or altering that, to your taste. It's a faithful reproduction of those rules, just in a way easier to read set, which is awesome.
Yeah.
First thing, smash or pass, lol. I already hate it. We must be talking about the video now.
Yeah.
Yikes, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
The art looks mad at me.
Well, it is. It is.
Yes.
Very.
The two dudes probably. Okay, I'm going to finish reading that one.
Yep. But correct.
Exactly. Eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. Look at this person, just like this again. This is the antidepressants. We're all on Zoloft.
SSRIs.
We're all very
look at Francis there. Like, also, I want to point out, if you look, if you just read these period accurate women. Passionate and dedicated, poor origins make her mistrustful of fortune, seekers and ostensibly wealthy, usually up to something, not looking for a husband, not trying to
survive and not starve to death.
You can read it. It's exactly what you'd expect. Strong, independent women.
Yeah.
But let's continue with the chat. Let's catch up before we proceed.
We're not almost there. There's a whole lot.
That's okay.
If the artwork didn't offend me, I'd pick up this book. I happen to like Regency literature. Well, that's fine. And here's the thing. Pride and Prejudice, the movie came out in the mid 2000s, I think, that has Keira Knightley in it. That fucking movie is amazing. And it is one of the most beautifully photographed movies I have ever seen. It's gorgeous and I love it. So, I have no problem with you liking this literature. I would not want to play an RPG in it, though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have to play the novel? Yeah.
Well, clearly not. I'll get to my. This is. I'll say it right now. This is, my TLDR assessment. This is the female power fantasy. That is what this game is. It's needlessly gossiping, or endlessly and needlessly gossiping and socializing for no purpose. So we talk a lot about vampire politicking. Is a very big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
The reason you're engaging in social politics is you're trying to get something. You're trying to vanquish an enemy. You're trying to conquer with influence or physically, as the case may be. The way this woman is going to go on and explain more about this game, and it seems to me like the point of the game is just to continue to gossip and just to continue to henpeck.
Yeah.
Until we get tired or we get bored.
Right.
There's no real goals. There's just eccentric quirks that our characters have. We don't actually have a goal or a background or a prior life or any actual ambition to see realized.
A prior life or a future life.
Prior life, future life, and it could be argued not a present life either.
Yeah. So I'm going to start skipping through the chat a little bit so we can we can go through. So if we missed your comment, I do apologize. This is apparently $217 for the main package of the books, expansions, and cards. Whew.
That's absurd.
It's the pink tax.
Yeah. Accurate.
White Pride and Prejudice, the Jane Austen RPG.
Again, I hope the Red Room is in here. If not, someone else will have to take up the mantle.
Abigail looks like a dude. Look at that jawline and chin. Yeah.
And who knows?
One looks like Mulvaney.
Yes.
XP for gold is a kind of genre. Yeah, but if you want to use those rules for any other game, like if you wanted to say I want to play D&D but move the genre to something else, like the gold, you can't really keep gold for XP because it's
I wouldn't say XP for gold is a genre. I would say dungeon delving is a kind of genre for tabletop RPGs, and it really is something that exists only in tabletop RPGs.
Yeah.
But the XP for gold, I don't think it's the dungeon delving. To me, that is the genre defining attribute, not the XP acquisition.
My 8-year-olds hate the new My Little Pony character design since they went Cal Arts. Don't know how much that she's mirroring me, but always says put on the good My Little Pony. Kids, I think, know what they like and they're pretty honest about it. They're not going to just be into something because you are. So it sounds like they've got a pretty good head on their shoulders. Frank Frazetta was the last true artist. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. Yeah, but he's one of the greats. One of the greats, absolutely. Frog Archist, how's it going? Hey guys, longtime viewer, first time commenter. Quick question: where do you get your ideas from? like the same place where we get our news, our opinions, and justifications for all of our arguments, which is cryptic symbolism in our dreams.
Yeah, true.
Period accurate. So it's that time of the month. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. Henpeck the Cuckening. We're almost caught up. I love Regency literature. It's like needless politics, but set in a drawing room. And honestly, what's the difference between gossip and spycraft? Lol. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's that is not untrue. Old joke. We never repeat gossip, so listen close the first time. The goal is to enhance your social stature and run down the social stature of your enemies. Yeah, it's women the RPG.
The female power fantasy.
Yeah, the female power fantasy. Yeah. Men are going to imagine using a battle axe to smash their enemies and defeat things through the use of violence, and women are going to imagine tearing down their enemies' reputations, apparently.
Yes. Yep.
Frances looks like she's watching her husband getting flogged. It was revealed to me in a dream. Exactly. Yes. All right, we are caught up.
Excellent.
Let's get back into it.
All right, let's see if I was right.
I have a feeling you were. And again, just let me know when you want to pause.
Their work is expressive and has all the personality you need to start brainstorming story ideas.
How can I win Elizabeth's affections?
Good Society uses social mechanics to replicate the structure of an Austen story. Games are broken into cycles of play. Each cycle involves...
Oh my god, look at this face. That's fucking Wojak.
Yeah. Yes.
That's literally Wojak.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's amazing.
Yeah, this is like a book of occult warfare against the Chuds.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Series of steps or stages, and they are 1, the collaboration stage. in which everybody works together and you establish some ground rules and expectations for the game. Next is the novel stage, in which players spend most of their time role-playing interactions between the characters and in-game events. The reputation stage is where everybody figures out how the previous events of the novel stage and all their role-playing impacts their characters' reputations and their stature and notoriety in society. The rumor and scandal stage is the stage in which players can seed rumors and potential sources of scandal.
Doesn't this sound fun?
No, this is like doing this already, like organically is the wrong word, but the idea of doing this again for no real reason. What makes an Elysium scene or what makes a court scene interesting is there are external stakes. I mean, there are internal stakes as well to your character, but it's not just the world exists outside of Elysium or the court.
Mm-hmm.
What happens, even if it's a social standing going up and down, these things matter in the broader world. Right? You're trying to politic, you're trying to maneuver or jockey favor for a particular goal that your character has, that they've come about through their experiences and their personality and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because you're trying to make a real living person, for lack of a better word. Just going around and around and around the game, just being exchanging jabs and like circle jerking each other in terms of like henpecking is awful already, but trying to break that down into like mechanized like a flow chart of different stages of play is not only is it incomprehensible, it's hellish. Imagine
playing this game would be like living in a Sartre play.
Yes.
Hell is the Jane Austen RPG.
Very true.
Granny Wojak is the one you got to be on the good side of because she can yell loudly at the local bulletin board until you lose your estate.
Yep.
With an appropriate scenario, this could make an interesting role-playing game if the mechanics work. I don't know, man.
I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, we've already.
But if you're talking, if with the right mechanics, you're like, so if we get rid of the game and we make a new game.
In that case, I didn't consider that. You have a point.
Because the thing is, you could have a role playing game in the setting of like this time period. You totally could. I would not want to play this.
Imagine a character. I'm just thinking about the type of people, I use that word loosely, who are going to play this game. And I'm imagining within the first 7 minutes, if there's any men in this game, probably surrounded by women, or even if someone's playing a male character, like you know exactly what's going to happen immediately. Like someone is going to get like me too'd within the first 7 minutes of play. And it's going to be all Yas queens all around, and then she's going to be the matriarch. Like I can already see this unfolding in my mind.
Yeah. My wife has +3 to nagging with advantage. Our demon summoning worked.
Waiting for
Godot RPG. Oh man, I saw Waiting for Godot on Broadway with Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, and surprisingly Billy Crudup was in that, and he was phenomenal. It was really, really great. So I do like all that artsy fartsy absurdist stuff. Example, you have to curry favor in King George III's court in order to get your husband appointed to go with Sir John Moore to Spain and gather glory.
I mean, yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, that's not what's happening here.
That's not what's happening here.
Yeah, you're not just spreading rumors about your best friend.
Yeah.
Me Too, the RPG.
Yeah.
You think the mechanics work in this game? Probably not.
No.
Justin Thor, no, I don't. And we're caught up.
Right on.
Let's jump back in.
For their fellow players, the epistolary stage, which is where players write and receive in-story letters, correspond.
Holy fuck.
God.
This is terrible. You're passing notes to each other.
Yeah.
Responding to the events of the cycle. You're starting to see a pattern here, I'm sure. And
I am seeing.
Yes, I am recognizing a pattern. I am noticing
all the stages that came before this one, and decide how the inner conflicts, the core motivations of your character have progressed.
Do you think that this is what like the old school people think that we do when we play games?
Maybe.
And like it might be.
It might be.
And how their connections will change and grow to reflect this cycle of events. All of these stages create ample opportunity for hidden motives, secret correspondences, and dramatic miscommunications.
I can't. This is so ridiculous.
It's
designed to.
Like I was gonna say, can you really imagine a bunch of men sitting around a table with women playing poker? And in general, the answer is no. But then I remembered that I did that like 2 weeks ago. So
drive conflict and characters together in a distinctly Austinian way.
How do I eliminate Mr. Darcy?
That's something that you should negotiate with your group and also maybe your game master.
Oh God!
I would like that. It would be so funny to play, to get in on a game and like be the standard like meme gamer.
Yeah.
You know, like
murder hobo
hey,
in
we're
this
you know
game.
we're
Yeah.
we're looking to learn about this game. Like, I take out my gun and I shoot him. He insulted my honor. I killed him. What? You can't do that. I said I did it. There probably aren't die mechanics in this game.
Right.
So I said it, so it's real.
But the idea that you'd have to like discuss something like this with your group beforehand, it's like
something that's so harmless. Like there's no physical violence at all, and there's still safety mechanics.
But I guess you could probably spread some pretty spicy rumors though.
Yeah.
The game master in this game is called the facility.
Oh my God, look at this art. This is another, it's Wojak-like.
Yeah.
Look at the face on this.
Yeah. Also, of course, children are such a burden.
Yeah.
I wish I don't know if I could say. I wish the technology.
Save it for the women in gaming episode.
Yeah.
Which we are going to do.
Facilitator. They are distinguished from other players by having more resolve tokens than other participants and by playing the NPCs. Make no mistake, however, in good society, the game master is as much a player as anyone. Likewise, players have power over the story and can exert authority over the world and other characters using their resolve tokens. Resolve tokens are a finite currency that each player receives at the start of the game.
So is this like a module? Like, how does this?
Well, no, it's clear. You play one type of game, and if you want to play the game again, you're basically replaying. It doesn't sound like here's how you play Pride and Prejudice versus here's how you play. It doesn't seem like you're going through. Maybe you are, but it doesn't seem to me like you're going through the events of different distinct Jane Austen novels. It's just
they've got like cards, and I'm sure these have like prompts or something.
Yeah, it's cards. But the same basic thing is happening. Everybody has characters with different quirks, and you know, the end of the game, the goal of the game is just to gossip, is just to be like bitchy.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should do an actual play of this.
Yeah.
But we'd have to buy it. It's $217, so that's actually not going to happen. It's a funny idea.
It's a funny idea.
But I'm not spending $217 on this.
But this would be hilarious.
Yeah.
To play this game
just with a bunch of dudes and
dudes, some based people.
Yeah.
And at the end, there's like there's an actual bloodbath in
there. I'm imagining like what are the notes and like rumors that people are going to start about each other. All right, let's see if there's anything in the chat. Oh wow, there's quite a bit. Okay. It really is a gossipy woman RPG. Yep. Exactly. Well, I'm defending the concept of mechanics did sound pretty awful. Yeah. Yeah, like again, you could conceivably have a role-playing game within this time period, within this setting, even maybe within the genre, but this is
but it's not this.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
Is this what old school players think we do? Yes, yes, it's all very cringe and community theater acting.
Yeah.
Dear God, the grognards were right. We went too far. We have to go back.
Yeah.
Adding George and cursive font to my Foundry server. I'm hardening cyanoacrylate glue and water. I don't know what that means. Throw a vampire lord in there and it could work. Yeah. But again, that'd be a different game. Then you'd be playing Dracula, which would be pretty cool.
Hey, that would also be funny. If you play a period accurate character. I played Dracula. He was alive.
I'm Count Orlok's
it says here in the safety mechanics that you can't tell me no about my
Gotta quote Shauner here. Read in sarcastic, patronizing voice.
Yeah.
As long as everyone's having fun. Yeah, exactly.
What's so funny
I can assure you, nobody is having fun in this game.
Yeah, but even the way you like, you imagine like a bunch of women playing around this. The function of the game is for them to not to have fun. They should all be seething with feminine rage and jealousy.
It's a free copy of if a free copy of this game can be attained, I will be glad to sit at the digital table.
Yeah.
The large, but it has to be one session. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could tolerate more than one session. Yeah, so if someone does find a PDF fallen off a truck from this game, we consider running it on our channel.
Yeah. Actually, you know what?
Sense and Sensibilities.
Yeah. If a bunch of like base dudes played this game,
it'd be
and we're
fucking
able
hilarious.
To do it would be hilarious because either again it'll devolve into physical violence immediately, or they're going to they're going to actually get together and like restore the glory of the British Empire.
They'll get stuff done. They'll actually accomplish things. A story game. Yeah, exactly.
Again, this isn't even a story. That's like this is just like a female circle jerk.
Yeah. But children are such a burden. That's why we have staff. It's Regency England. Yeah, we got the help. It is a playbook game. I don't know what that means. Oh, I get it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I played Jack the Ripper.
Now you're talking. Playing an X card here. She showed an ankle.
Yeah.
That price point assures only the upper crust of society can buy and keeps out the rabble. Yeah. And you know what? And I can't fault them for taking. If people are going to pay them money for this, I can't fault them for taking money from fools.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, I guess. You know, if you're willing to spend all that money on trash you deserve.
We need to do an actual play of this. What do you mean? You already do. This is basically what your cyberpunk game sounds like. Wait, can I throw my glove at someone and challenge them to a duel? I'm in. I either win the duel, awesome, or I die and no longer have to play. Game
Great game. I killed myself within.
Killed myself. Great, yeah. Highly recommend. I, good sir, will be playing Fitzroy Von Darcy, assuming one of you is playing Alfred Bundy.
That would be hilarious. Would be playing Al Bundy.
In a writ of Fella's Jage. Make it a martial arts game and call it Sensei and Sensibilities. Once you use Enneagrams, RPGs are amazing. 5 or 6 guys get together to play this game and they end up just marrying all the hot chicks in town and starting a brewery.
Yeah. We plan out the American Revolution.
Yeah. You overthrow the British from inside Britain.
And can be played if you want your characters to accomplish something really unlikely, or if you want to alter or aid the events of the story that are beyond your character's control. Also, if you would like to compel another player's character to change or act in some way, you can use the resolve token.
Again, if you want to change someone, you can do that in this game.
Making another player behave in a way they hadn't planned, you give them a resolve token. So
I can change him.
To earn more tokens
I can fix him. I can change him.
You can also collect resolve tokens by playing reputation tags. The world of Good Society is filled with curious country people, closely acquainted small towns, and gossipy nosy neighbors. If your character's behavior can be observed, it is guaranteed to impact your reputation.
That's why I never leave witnesses alive.
Yeah.
You can act in accordance with the social expectations of 19th century society and receive positive reputation tags for good behavior.
I'm sure that
none
of the reputational opinions of the Regency era are represented in this book.
Yeah. Positive. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
They could not include authentic social attitudes from
at all
any time period prior to 2015.
Yeah.
Behaved players seldom make history, so you can also honor your character's passions and accept negative reputation tags to tell a different kind of story.
I have a reputation for causing fear and pain.
You don't want that kind of reputation. If you allow these tags to accumulate, you could have consequences that could affect the rest of.
This is the thing. Some of us would rather live in infamy, you know?
Yeah.
Play. You can get rid of reputation tags by playing them in game and allowing them to impact your major character's interaction. Anytime you play a reputation tag, you earn a resolve token. In addition to their resolve token, every player receives 1 monologue token. Monologue tokens are used by one player.
How would leaning into the reputation that you're accused of alleviate that reputation? That would make you. You're showing that we were right all along.
Oh my god. Oh.
Reveal another player's intentions. When a player spends a monologue token on another player's character, the targeted character must perform an inner monologue that reveals their inner thoughts, feelings, plans, and motives.
So this is like forcing someone in within the Ring of Fire to give a soliloquy.
Yeah.
for your own benefit.
Yeah, this is the dark, like the dark side of like the soliloquy mechanic, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yikes.
I really like this idea. Since every character has just 1 token, they can't compromise every secret scheme in the game, but it has a lot of potential for drama and comedic timing. I mean, can you imagine sending...
Yeah, can you imagine the comedic timing of forcing someone to deliver a monologue on the spot that they just have to... Oh my god, this is so bad.
This to a friend cooking up an evil plot.
No one's plots are as evil as mine.
It's the perfect recipe for mischief and mayhem.
Yes! Where do I find out more about creating this mayhem?
If you're interested in learning about the game, there are tons.
It's like he's literally narrating what the audience is feeling. Like, how do I make this fun in some way? How do I get this to be an interesting game that I can play?
How do I salvage this?
Yeah.
Of downloadable resources online at Story Brew's website. Additionally, they have this whole YouTube series on how to play the game and a full-length video that I personally found super helpful because it puts all of these rules into context and you can see the players actually navigate like a cohesive story to put these rules into play. You'll find links to Good Society and Story Brewer's website at the links below, and links to Dungeon Craft Facebook and Patreon, where you can get bonus content and support the channel, as well as links to Professor Dungeon Master's own game, Deathbringer.
Holy
Thanks
fuck.
again, and may all your rolls be 20s.
God, that's awful.
Yeah, terrible. So to, actually show the point of this, it is that women have gone insane. This is what we've just witnessed. Women have gone insane.
Yes. I mean, always the case, but now
right.
There's
that is a truly abominable and atrocious product. And wow.
Right.
I don't.
This is the race to the bottom. That we've talked about so much. They've
managed to find some sort of sub basement level.
Yeah, there's just more floors going down. We thought we'd reach bedrock, but nope.
Yeah, there is no bottom. Compel another PC. Players love that.
Yeah.
This is insulting to the tabletop RPG. Pistols and Dawn, sir/madam. Pistols at Dawn.
Pistols at Dawn. Yeah.
While the game sucks, is a video format like this helpful to learn how bad it sucks?
No one would know this game existed.
Right. They don't need to know it exists.
They don't need to know. It shouldn't have existed. It's better that way.
Right. It's good for us because we get to, have a laugh about it on stream.
Yeah.
Doubt it. People who don't read don't stick with RPGs long, in my experience. That is true. Reading is kind of the barrier to the minimum barrier.
Reading
to
and
entry.
basic math skills are the barrier to entry.
It's a game. I'd rather have fun. It's not the American Revolution. It's the Hertfordshire Revolution. Exactly.
Yeah.
Lovingly brewed. Fuck this game. Yep. Agreed, Crafty. Yes. Agreed. No, please, no. That's not a game. It's a tea party.
Exactly.
It's over. We survived. Save me from the other RPG women. Yeah, RPG Grandma's is great, by the way. Go sub her channel.
Yeah. This is
go ahead.
Like like Woman Simulator 2023. It's like the Microsoft Woman Simulator 2023. It's
RPG Grandma, I'm sure you have immunity. If you want to play a non-English person in this game, if it was historically accurate, you should roll on a chart. 50% of the options you will get is French, 25% is German. Yeah.
I think you're thinking about this way too much.
He's planning his game. Give me nuns with guns. Exactly.
Yes. I also like the Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah. The Red Room has that product. If you would like to buy that product, the Red Room makes that.
Yeah. And many other good products.
Yeah.
No one would like it. Tumblr games, yeah.
Nurgle save me, yeah. Women in RPGs have certainly changed from when I was in high school. Can we go back to the big titty goths wanting to play vampire? That was so much more entertaining than this. Yes. Yeah, I mean,
I wish.
There's nothing wrong with the big titty goth GF.
Yes.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. This came up recently because someone dug up a post that Gygax made on a forum about women in gaming, and he said what was 100% true and accurate was that on average, men and women just have different interests, and which is the reason you don't have more female gamers. Most of them just aren't interested in playing RPGs.
Yep.
And
And
there's more
fine.
women playing now in the 5e era, but playing usually doesn't mean actually playing the game.
Right.
Most of the 5e like millennial generation, they're not even playing the fucking game to begin with.
Right.
But yeah, it's like anyone who has been in this hobby knows that it's primarily men who play these games. Sometimes you get women who are interested in genuinely interested in playing the games. And a lot of times you have people's girlfriends or wives who will humor their partner and play.
Right.
But they're not, but most women are just not interested in these things. So yeah, it was a healthier age when the women who played were the ones that actually wanted to play the games.
Yes.
Do they have sparkle feet? I'm sure they do.
Probably.
The eagle with the human face is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. I think Frog is the first person who posted that I saw. It literally makes me laugh every single time I see it. Oh my God. Anna.
They definitely can be. When both people legitimately want to be there, even if they're there for slightly different reasons, as long as there's enough overlap. Yeah, it can indeed be great when
yeah, I mean the thing is like I've got women playing my game right now, my Lion and Dragon game. I've almost always had women at my table. And part of the reason I think that is because I don't hang out with even average RPG players. I play with, I'm a weirdo and I play with the weird people, other weird people. So there's a higher concentration of women there. Some of them, have been like some of the best role players I've played with. So I just want people who are interested in the game to play.
Yeah, that's literally all
that's all we want. Yes. It's all that matters is that the people at the table are there to actually play the game as opposed to, impose this ridiculous shit that we just saw into the hobby.
Right. I impose either personal insecurities into the game or are there just to hang out and like goof off.
I'll wait for the Dickens expansion so I can at least have ghosts. Yeah. Most couples, in my experience, the lady is doing it because he does. It's not worked. Yeah. It's not if when they break up, the girl doesn't continue, does not continue playing. Difference being like, so when in my original high school group, my friend Megan was an actual gamer. Like, not I play Candy Crush and I call myself a gamer. Like, she was deep into video games and nerd stuff. And when we got her playing Vampire with us, she was fucking great. Like immediately got it and got super into RPGs. She ended up getting me into Exalted later. And like one of the greatest players I've ever had at my table, like bar none. So,
and that's another like thing. Like
you can't force that.
You can't force that.
It has to come from within,
Yes. Like the perfect, the game to bring women into the hobbies has already been invented. It's called Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, exactly. If you wanted to get chicks to play,
you play Vampire.
Like that's simple as.
Yeah.
It's not sexist to acknowledge the genders think differently, have different interests, and a few of us are tomboy types.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly. And if it is sexist, then I'm sexist.
Yes.
And if it's not sexist, I'm sexist.
Right.
I do appreciate that the game is encouraging people to read good fiction, but I'm sorry to say that most people won't. Yeah.
I don't think this game is encouraging people to read good fiction.
It'd probably make me
this is nothing like that's giving way too much credit for this game. I think people should read good fiction, but to I don't know. First of all, the idea that anyone is going to be playing this, the only people who are buying this are going to be buying it for clout.
Yes.
But even someone coming honestly to this, which is impossible. But to imagine an impossibility is either heard of or is already read or is deeply familiar with Jane Austen. This game isn't whetting your palate for like actual literature.
Yeah. RPG Women's Simulator 2023 lets you play a man if you want.
Well, in the current time, it is 2023.
Oh yeah, I skipped this one. No one takes women to task for not having enough dudes in the quilting circles. Yeah.
True.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Don't make me go.
Mrs. Death likes to game, but she had gamed long before I met her. Yeah. Cool. You got yourself a good one. Here we go. Black Lodge guys, not ashamed to say they played Exalted. Not even a little bit. I have
not played Exalted yet.
Yeah, he is not. He is not. I have though. I enjoyed 2nd edition quite a bit. The 3rd edition is just unbelievable how much it's like the reins were taken off. They have been the art in it is, you can intuit their morality. Let's just say we did an episode on it.
Yes.
But yeah, I enjoyed Exalted quite a bit. Even though the system sucks, and it's a very broken way in a lot of ways. Broken game in a lot of ways. But I've done a lot of cringe things in my life, so I'm not
true.
I don't care,
Yeah.
Wait for the Matthew Gregory Lewis expansion so you can have demons. Yeah.
Yes.
If they both like it, it's fun. A lot of the time, even the wives aren't into it and just come along to humor the husband. Most ladies don't like to waste time playing pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fine.
Right.
Actual gossiping is more valuable. Yeah. I would have to get the table super drunk to talk into this game. Yeah. Yes, this is a clout game. This is a thirsty sword lesbians or coyote and crow game.
Yeah.
It is to be on your shelf to show you are on the right side of history. Right.
Yeah. To
show that you're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, wrong side of history. Yeah.
Extremely wrong and failed ideology.
Yeah.
Pride and Prejudice isn't good fiction. It was an early indication that the novel as a literary format was a horrible mistake. Sorry to the co-host for implying he played Exalted. My deepest apologies. Pundit, it read like a jar of applesauce. So the thing with Exalted, when it first came out, I know that White Wolf was doing like a trade-in for like basically if people wanted to trade in their D&D books so they could like graduate to a mature role-playing game.
That is incredibly
funny. It's funny. But it's also incredibly cringe. Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass.
It would be so much funnier if you can trade in your copy of D&D, not to graduate, but because we want to deny our competitors.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Simply because, that'd be so much better. So we can burn their book.
Yeah,
just have a giant like pile of them to burn. Permanently reduce the number of D&D supplements out there.
That would be so funny.
Yeah. The upside to this is that I found the pistols at Dawn RPG. Speaking of an alternative to Exalted, though, I do have. Let's see if.
Oh yeah, this one. I keep wanting to say Lone Wolf and Cub.
Right, and I want to say Fist of the North Star, but it's actually like a mix of all those. It's Lone Wolf Fists. So I posted about Exalted 3rd Edition on Twitter the other day, maybe like a week or two ago, saying how just abysmally terrible the art is, and how disgusting it is. And this guy Joel Clark saw my tweet and posted, he's like, that's why I made my own game in the kind of genre of Exalted, sort of. It takes a lot of the same kind of, I don't know. This is look what I'm saying. I don't like this layout.
Yeah.
It's already got problems here. But the same kind of over-the-top action and violence with a new system that isn't. The claim is that it's not as bad as, or that it's better than the storyteller system dice pool mechanics of the White Wolf games, which would not be hard to do in my opinion.
Right.
But it's set in a post-apocalyptic world. And you play like these kung fu masters that can essentially like, you can like throw tanks and do all sorts of crazy shit in it. And yeah, like again, this is tiny ass text. It's the good thing is this PDF is linked, which is awesome.
Right.
But there's tons of blank space everywhere in this game, in the layout. I will say reading this, it's very readable. And like you definitely get the feel that the guy is going for.
That's good.
And yeah, starts with your setting. The art, when it is there, like I said, it's a little sparse. Yeah, you've got your core mechanic laid out here, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's the first like bad page, apart from the table of contents, the page up.
This one.
Yeah, this is just all blank.
Total blank. Yeah, total blank. And I mean, art's expensive. I get it. Yeah, but it's doing this sort of stuff, like throwing tanks.
Yeah.
Again, all this blank space.
Blank space.
Which contributes to the page count. Again, blank space. There's just the.
I see what he's doing. He's page breaking it.
Right.
Which is
for organization. Like I get
organization and to hyperlink.
Yeah.
All of the sections. I get it, but you do need to be creative. You need more art or tables or something to break up the blank spaces.
Yeah.
So it's not so jarring.
But it seems pretty cool. I'm definitely I've got a physical copy, you know.
What's the premise for like, is it like radiation or is it just these how do you get these powers?
I think it's like you're basically unlocking like it's kung fu anime powers. Like you're unlocking your inner chi or whatever it is.
Whatever.
Yeah. But it's like there's mutants in the post-apocalypse, all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
And
it's cool.
Yeah. Like this guy's head exploding after he gets beat up. Fucking great. Love it. But I have a physical copy whenever drive through finishes the 1,000 year printing and shipping process, I will get that will arrive.
Yeah.
But here's something. This picture, we've already seen this in the book. However, it was part of a different picture. It was right up here somewhere. It was right here. There she is. Same pose, everything, but surrounded by a demon. So reuse of art again. And I get it. Art is expensive, and this is a big fucking book. 320 pages. I think there's a lot of depth to the like kung fu battle system or whatever.
I mean, I do like the idea of kind of an over the top, overpowered premise in a post-apocalyptic setting that definitely, at least for me, is more immediately engaging than kind of the mythic East, or I don't know what you even call Exalted, but
Exalted's like a mishmash of like every mythology that somehow sort of works together. But yeah, this is like dinosaurs and shit running around. So at any rate, from what I have read so far in this book, I do like it very much. So the layout issues aside, I do like the cover. I do like the cover a lot too.
Yeah.
But it's don't let that spoil the kind of impression of it. Is my first impression on the stuff that I have read is positive. I like it a lot. So. And this is also proof that if you tweet about your game, someone will buy it.
Yeah.
Because this guy, I had no idea who he was. Right, yeah. He just replied to one of my tweets, and I was like, well, I'm buying your game.
Does he have a website? Maybe we can
let's find out. Joel Clark. What is this called? Lone Wolf Fists. Let's see here. So there's this Kickstarter. And kick track. GM shoes a sit. So I'm not seeing his particular website, but we'll
tweet about it if
I will tweet about it. And I will kind of I'll go over this game at some point on the channel.
Yeah. I would actually be really interested in playing that.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
All right, let's catch up
Very
here.
Nice. Yes.
I hate story games with playbooks. Of course.
Correct and agreed.
Yeah. I mean, they're just terrible. Like if you can't make choices and those choices can't have consequences in the game, like what is the fucking point? Go and read a book, go and watch a movie, go and play a video game.
Right.
Like, those are different experiences than what you get out of an RPG. And if you're trying to recreate the experiences of one of those other mediums, you're doing this thing wrong.
That is the purpose. That's the core identity. It's the one unique thing that tabletop RPGs offer. We've talked about this in different ways and using different words, but it is the opportunity to make choices and to immerse yourself in a person in a number of different worlds or genres, right? Just like a movie can have many different genres, a tabletop game can have many different genres, but the key difference, the only real difference, is I get to decide what I'm doing, and I get to really, in the moment, view the world.
Yeah. And I get to deal with the consequences of the choices and the things that I do, and deal with, I mean, this is one of the things like when people hate character death, I'm like, I don't get it at all. I fucking love, I'm not out to make my characters die, but when that happens, it's usually deserved, based on the choices you made.
Yep.
And it can be a whole lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Never played Exalted, but I had the Book of Exalted Deeds and Book of Vile Darkness for 3.5e. Do those count? No.
I did have the Book of Vile Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I still do or not.
Can you imagine WotC making anything like that these days?
That would not be possible.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would only have been funny if they meant it as a joke. They didn't. The core customer base of Exalted were pretentious nerds, true, who were too ashamed to admit that they wanted to play D&D. I don't know about that part.
I can't comment. I don't know.
I did not want to play D&D by that point because I didn't. It was like that was the era of 3.5, and I didn't like that game. And it was more I didn't like the people who played it. That was a huge portion of it. The people who tried to get me into it in high school were guys that I did not like. Their physiognomy spoke for themselves. Everyone snort and slide glasses down nose and cast existential crisis, followed by $5 word spell.
Yes.
Tree fitty is all I got. So mature and intellectual now. Yep. All right, guys. Have a great rest of the night. I'm heading off to bed. Good night, Crafty. I hope you feel better and get over the fake coronavirus. That is not a real thing. No. Yes. Please don't destroy our channel, YouTube. Not while it's in review for monetization.
Yes. We're so close.
Oops. That would be really fucking funny if
and just like that, the project is over.
Yeah, the project was over. Everybody's saying goodbye to Crafty. I keep trying to get people to understand PC death can be awesome. Yeah,
that's the thing.
Great.
It's like you either, if you get it, you get it, and the people who don't will never get it.
They'll never get it. Yeah.
It's just like with role-playing games. We've said, or immersion and role-playing in general. There are people who don't get it. If you don't get it, you will never get it. If you don't get it and you're after the, you're outside of college, you're never going to get
fucked.
It.
Yeah. It's over.
It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah. Go out guns blazing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or DM describe an awesome death vision the dead PC sees. Yeah.
Sure.
Party on, Crafty.
Indeed.
Like Valkyries swooping down.
Yeah.
I usually give my players one last kind of they can give their inner monologue or describe what the last fleeting moments of their life as they die, and they usually like doing that. It's a lot of fun.
May have to happen to Gibbs, and not to give too much away.
For
the next episode of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, we've got a couple of videos that have just not made thumbnails yet. So when I make the thumbnails, we'll release those. But included in that is our latest Cyberpunk session that ends fairly grisly manner because of certain choices that I made.
Again, character choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it was fun
they were fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. I should next time we do one of these, maybe we should talk about I flipped through more. I still haven't finished it, but very impressed by Red Room's Wretched Vigilantes.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Supers genre, really interested. Supers and westerns are two genres that I don't for maybe it's just me. I don't see a lot of. I guess I see more supers games than western games. But they're very much like a niche genre. And it seems to me like both of them really should be more popular than they are for slightly different reasons. Western is very much like analogous to, what the Western is like an archetypical story of either going out into the wilderness or facing some kind of adversity and sort of coming back to a community or protecting a community from the outside, from chaos. And I don't know, maybe it may just be the trappings. And supers, talking about power fantasy, that's a very simplistic, I guess, appreciation of supers as a genre, but it is a thing. So I'm surprised they're not more popular, and I'm always interested and I'm looking for constantly different games that would do those settings well, those genres well, I should say. And Wretched Vigilantes definitely does a kind of supers game, in my estimation, quite well. And that would be your Watchmen, Daredevil type kind of street level. Sin City.
Yeah.
Sin City isn't exactly supers game, but it's a comic, right?
Yeah. And very much the anti-hero vibe of Wretched.
Anti-hero vibe.
Yeah.
That's very much a Wretched thing. I'd like to talk about that, and I'd like to talk a little bit. I actually don't have. I need to finish flipping through it. I picked up, or I kickstarted, the new iteration of talking about old school games, Sword and Wizardry.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to. I want to hear from people who really appreciate what seems to me to be an incredibly stripped down, settingless, very minimal art kind of product, because it's a competently done presentation of an old school D&D game, but is lacking in any sense of flavor. Or
I feel like that's all these old school clones though, and maybe even the originals, which I haven't aside from AD&D first and second edition I haven't looked at, but even OSE, it's got barely implied setting. You know, there's elves, there's dwarves, there's humans. You go into dungeons, and I get that it's just a rule set, but at the same time, like
if I was picking this up for the first time, right? Like if I didn't, like if you or I didn't know the trappings, I don't like. There's just nothing there.
Yeah.
To build.
Yeah.
So it's very strange to me. It's a very competent. It's a well produced book. It's a good product in terms of like the material product. But will I be using this? Almost certainly not.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
After the party loots dead buddy, leaves them to rot and have moved on, then describe to the players some sort of afterlife consequences. Yeah. We had that. I had a total party kill in my game Hell and Back for Within the Ring of Fire many years ago. And they all described basically as your level of piety and whatever deity you have determines how quickly a servitor of your deity comes to divinity, comes to take you off to whatever your role in the afterlife is. And if you have very low piety, you just sit there and you wait, and other entities can come and try to, do very terrible things to your soul. But that was very fun to give them that opportunity to kind of describe what was happening to their soul as they all passed on after they all killed each other. The TPK again was not even something that was made necessarily strictly by the GM. It was just that the hatreds that the characters had for each other boiled out and they all died.
Which is great. I know I've said to you,
yeah,
and I may have said on streams before, like one of the signs you're one of the best signs that like you're playing with someone else at the group and you're really syncing together. You're in it for the same reason. You're trying to role play. When you know that it's really good is you can attack, scream, hate each other in character, and it's totally all good. Like we're like, yes, like
at the end of the session, you're like, that was fucking awesome. Yeah.
So good.
Nobody's like, fuck you, man. You killed my character. Fuck you.
Yeah,
it's not like that. Everyone's like, holy shit, that was mind blowing.
That was so fucking great. Yeah.
Let the dead PC haunt them. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
In a Regency RPG, we go out making sure the other guy ends up penniless in the gutter because after I married the wealthy countess, I used her family fortune to raid his company into bankruptcy.
That would be actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. I think it's just occurring to me how much that Jane Austen RPG would have to be player versus player. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a zero-sum PvP zone. Old school games, you often have to build your setting. Yeah. And sometimes I do like doing that, but the older that I get, the less time and interest I have in really building out my own setting just for a game that I'm going to run. Like there's definitely like I have setting that I've been kicking around for a long time that is going to be like one of our games that we make eventually. Sure. Working on that is one thing, but like I don't want to come up with a world. I don't have the same level of interest and time in doing that as I did in high school. Which is all I did in high school was come up with this stuff. And I loved doing that, but it just doesn't appeal to me in the same way. So I like having a built-in setting.
Yeah. And also
I want something that's going to get my mind going like immediately. And it's like, okay, I've got parameters to work in and I can go.
Draw me in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that I think Mithras does very well, has an implied sword and sorcery setting, Bronze Age setting.
Yeah. I was briefly considering writing a Chad version of that game, but I can't see a way to make the adversary external to the party. Yeah, it's all PvP, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, sorry for having the previous subject matter on my brain still. That's okay. That's totally okay. Yeah, but that is something why a lot of these old school games, like they don't really appeal to me because it's just a rule set. It's like give me a world. And if there's a good rule set that goes along with that, that's great. But I don't just want mechanics. Like I want something I want the essentials of a world that I can then flesh out and set the players loose in. And I know that because my thing is, it's like I I think for a lot of players, the mechanics are the not even just players, but people who play these games, like DMs even, the mechanics are like, okay, these are the boundaries that I want to play in. These are the this is the kind of structure of everything. And for me, it's the world and the setting. You know, that is where the boundaries are and the constraints in how I imagine and get the game going. You know, like the mechanics are important. They absolutely matter, but they are secondary to me in terms of setting. If a game has a great setting and kind of mediocre mechanics, I'm totally fine with that. A game could have incredible mechanics and no setting, or a bad setting. A bad setting, you couldn't compel me to play if it had a bad setting.
Right.
There's just no way.
Like, I definitely agree with you on that, but I would say my frustration with a lot of these old school games isn't strictly that. It isn't even that there isn't an explicit setting, and in some ways not even the case that there isn't. It is true, I don't like this, but it isn't even that there is not an implicit setting in terms of, like, external trappings, beyond vague medieval, you use swords and not guns, let's say. But the characters you make and the actions that the game encourages you to do is very simplistic and surface level to my mind. It's clear that there's not intended to be a strong consideration of a character's inner life or interfacing with whatever world I create or choose in, like, a really meaningful way, other than overcoming, like, combat challenges, right? These old school games really do encourage some kind of overland or underground, dungeon crawl, or chained out combat encounters. And the goal is, the reason is, well, there really isn't a reason. And if you need a reason, well, it's the gold, or it's gold, it's glory, it's treasure.
Yeah.
But these
they're overly abstract. They're excuses for not having an actual goal as a character.
Right.
Like an explicit goal that makes sense within the world. Yeah.
And yes, you can make whatever, and you can immerse yourself in anything. It doesn't mean that it's, sometimes you are, trying to fit a round peg in a square hole.
Yeah.
But that's my main, like, contention is it's clear the game really doesn't want me to take this seriously.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hate that.
So, and yeah, like that really is my biggest gripe. My biggest criticism.
We are in agreement.
Yeah. We got it.
Let me see here. Probably the previous. Okay, so I'm catching up. RPG Grandma says, if you need a world, Encyclopedia for Arduin. It has everything. Neither am I. Then apply your mechanics of choice.
Yeah, and that's also a great thing to do in general. Even if you're just ripping off completely. I want to do, I don't know. Even if you want to do, like, World of Warcraft, if you like the world of World of Warcraft, I just want to play in it, and take it, like, seriously. Yeah, like, apply whatever mechanics work. I want to inhabit Lord of the Rings or Middle-earth, or whatever. Take your pick. Dune.
I don't know how many times I have to say it. You play the world, not the rule set. Yes.
Yep.
Settings are your base. Absolutely. Arduin is Gonzo, so anything goes. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Yeah,
I'll have to look into it.
I haven't really done a Gonzo setting. Played in a Gonzo game.
Yeah, I have.
If Pundit's still watching, I'm sure he's going to post about World of the Last Sun. So
yeah.
Prepare yourselves, chat. Which is one of the books of his that I don't own yet, but I will eventually. Setting within RPG books. Most designers are following suit from the old days, just mechanics and some methodology. Some info on races as the game and the setting were external source books. Yeah.
I haven't thought about it that way.
That is it though. I mean, it's the same like ShadowDark. Even one of the few times that I've interacted with Kelsey on Twitter was I was saying there's no setting for this. It's got and she was like, well, it's got an implied setting, and we've got some other smaller products that are coming out that will have more explicit material on setting for it. But I prefer a game that has a well-crafted setting that is presented for the players and the GM to play within and build off of. And then if you want expansions to the setting, that's when source books come in.
I don't even see that really a lot these days. Certainly there are more implied settings, but more often than not, I think, is that true? I was going to say more often than not, like the setting just isn't expanded on, and no source book. Certainly, source books are really a throwback, and really don't happen unless they're funded by a very successful Kickstarter stretch goals. They tend not to happen, and certainly not from a
right. Which is why you should knock it out of the park the first time, because you might not get a second crack. You might not get another turn at bat, and if you want people to play in your game and in your setting in particular, you need to include that. Agreed. Sometimes you want a setting ready to go. The setting and system I'm currently interested in trying is the Pendragon RPG. I'd rather play a heroic knight than a snobby gossiping aristocrat. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Pendragon, I have not played it. Nick has told me a little bit about it. Sounds great. Mr. Max recommends it. At least not the most recent edition, but
the most recent edition isn't out yet. They have the creative, they have the quick start rules. I will tentatively look into it, but I am not holding my breath.
Yeah. But I would definitely also look into Lion and Dragon as a medieval authentic game. It's like really, really good. But I will not dissuade you from checking out Pendragon. Techumel is an awesome setting. That's what I've heard. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yep. I have when did it come out? 2012, 2013? 2014.
Techumel? Isn't it like really like a new edition?
It's really old. No, but but there was a game, there was sort of not a reprint, but a representation of the Techumel setting in a game called Bethorm. Bethorm is I believe is the planet on which Techumel is. I may be wrong about that. Or maybe it's the plane or the pocket dimension.
Right.
Bethorm.
Chalt 2, Gonzo. Yeah, I do want to get Chalt at some point. I don't have any Avengers products yet. Also, is Chalt, does it actually have a rule set, or is it just a setting book? Let me know in the chat.
I don't know.
Techumel was extremely fleshed out. Yeah.
Another creation from a
Chalt.
linguist
I have
professor.
to buy Chalt. Everyone's Chalt posting.
Yeah.
Budget crunch right now.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now that DCC has gone full pronouns, keep enjoying the game by checking out Last Sun instead of Goodman products. Nailed it. I knew he was going to
like clockwork.
Yeah. I will be checking this out.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Sure.
But again, I've already got
so much on the
games
pile
to play first. That's very disappointing though, because I know what he's referring to is that DCC Dungeon Crawl Classics, they just released their, the next printing of the book, and it included like turning all the pronouns gender neutral, which that's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
It's also, I don't like it. It's in a strange way, it would almost be like more virtuous to go all in. Like you're trying to play both sides by doing such a tiny concession, right?
Yeah.
By changing the pronouns gender neutral. Like if you're going to be my enemy, like
you can't. Well, that's the thing is you can't, if you've given this ground, you really can't stop.
Yeah, you can never stop.
This is blood in the
never
water.
Give a single inch.
Yeah, never give a single inch to these people because
you'll be backtracking right into your grave.
Right, exactly. Which is very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Pundit, why don't you make a OSR like rule set to replace DCC? You know, something that if you wanted to play Gonzo Fantasy, that's not just a setting supplement. That might. Why don't you do that?
There we go.
So we don't have to rely on DCC. I just go with the default setting depending on the players. Yeah, I can't do that. What does that mean though?
I'm assuming it means he has a setting that he's played with many times. Like if that's the case, if there's something you've built up, either you've created yourself, right, or we always like to play in Middle Earth or whatever. Or it's a mishmash of whatever. Like, that's definitely something cool. A lot of published campaign settings came out of just that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, if that's
what you meant, that's
going to be one of our games. Is that's exactly what's happening. It came out of a game that I ran.
Yeah, I'm really excited for us to start playing it before.
Oh, for sure. I am super pumped to do that.
Yeah.
But again, that will require us being in the same geographic region
in due time.
By the way, my Within the Ring of Fire books arrived a couple days ago. Very nice.
Nice.
Yes, totally agree.
I'll tell Andrew about that tomorrow. And
yeah, we got him some money. Yes, totally agree. A good game for me is one where system meshes nicely with setting. Yeah, I agree. And that's another thing is I don't like just mishmashing, take your favorite mechanics and apply it to the game. In theory, that works, but a lot of times the mechanics are tied to whatever the genre is. So you can't. This is the thing where people.
This is where we've said system matters.
System matters, yeah. And it's like if you're gonna use D&D's rules in a modern setting or a sci-fi setting, it feels like you're playing D&D in space.
Yes.
It's not. It doesn't have the same. There's just something different there.
Yep. Yeah, the mechanics do have a feel.
Most systems have no business being played in Middle Earth or Beleriand. I don't know what that is.
Beleriand. It's a I think a book series.
Okay, but I agree with the sentiment.
Yeah, exactly.
True primeval fantasy RPG.
Indeed.
Give me one kingdom and some surrounding countries. Your expansions could be what's beyond that. You don't have to give me every corner of the globe. Yeah, and that's the thing is that I like a game. I like a setting that gives me enough to define the world and the genre, and gives me some interesting, almost like unreliable narration on the history of it. Give me some conflicting ideas, some things that I can flesh out, and I will flesh out the rest of the world. But doing the making something from scratch takes a lot more kind of mental effort and imagination. It's just I don't have the budget for that in my brain at the moment.
You know what we should do? This makes me think. I think whether it's on a stream or an episode of the podcast, I think maybe we should each pick a couple products that have really good settings and really good integrated settings. I think that might be interesting. Maybe people would find some engagement out of that.
Yeah. Lion and Dragon is excellent. That is 100% true. It is excellent. Can't recommend that game enough. Bethorn means
okay, so it is the dimension.
Okay.
Yeah. Such a cool world.
Grew up playing RuneQuest, great mythical fantasy Bronze Age setting with over 40 years of material out there.
Yeah. Tell me at least more about RuneQuest. So RuneQuest is something I've been interested in for a very long time. I have gotten so far all of the new material for the RuneQuest role-playing in Glorantha. I'm very much looking forward to the Cults book and the Prosopedia. I even have the gigantic coffee table books, the guide to Glorantha. I don't want to go into a nerd tangent, but there's something about the I think it's something about the way in which the lore, quote unquote, was sort of spread out over multiple different magazines and what have you, and it's just really interesting, but hard to penetrate.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to hear more of your wisdom to really understand Glorantha.
And if you want to make videos about this,
yes,
that would be great too, because
yes.
we like consuming videos.
Yes.
And we want more good people making content in the RPG space.
Good people making good content.
Yeah. Chalt has a rule set, but it's very, very light. Okay.
Got it.
RuneQuest is another old good game. Yep. Okay. More RuneQuest love. Goodman Games sold out to the woke mob. No. The pronoun obsession is ridiculous. Yeah, it really is fucking stupid. I refuse to use preferred pronouns. I really don't get the issue with changing the pronouns to gender neutral for DCC. I mean, it doesn't affect the game at all, in my opinion. The rules are still the same, which means not for me.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. So the thing is, like, the changing of the pronouns is a concession to lunatics. And and the thing is, if this was just people who had weird ideas and, they would tell you, yeah, you should use these pronouns, whatever, that'd be fine, except that these are people that are continuously trying to force this stuff into law, into education, and into the hobby and into the products. Now, the thing is, people can make whatever choices with how they make their products and how they sell them. I am a like turbo capitalist, so none of that really bothers me. These companies can make what choice they want, but these are people who are not willing to just live and let live. This is something, this cultural push is a political push as well. And it's when you can have the craziest fucking views in the world and I can still be friends with you. The second that you're trying to that starts affecting my life in a material way, or the lives of my friends and family, then I have a massive problem with this. When companies kind of capitulate on this, like the whole thing,
it shows at best a cowardice and a lack to defend you in a war. And this is
and so there's kind of two issues here, is that if there's no use to changing the pronouns, the only thing that it could do is introduce more typos into the book. There's no way in which it makes the material superior or better. It's exactly what Nick said, is that this is a concession and to crazy people. And when you do that, when you give these people concessions on anything, they are never satisfied. And they see this as weakness, which it is, and they will come for blood again and again and again, which is why you can never give them an inch on anything. So, I mean, hopefully it doesn't continue to escalate, but this is not a good sign, in my opinion. A very not good sign. So that would be it. I know that it doesn't affect, this is not changing the game rules or, like saying that you like, oh, well, now you can have non-binary, just like elf is a class, non-binary is a class, like half orc, or whatever. Like that's
all
not
in
it.
time.
Yeah. But exactly.
We've seen it happen, and on a long enough time frame, it all turns to it all turns to gruel.
And talking kind of about like erasure, Unless you're making like a new edition, like I hate changes to these things over time. It's just terrible.
They're never good.
Yeah.
99 times out of 100, they're never good.
Yeah. I finally got the newer RuneQuest since it was invented in my area. It was about time. Oh, it was about time. I read that in a very odd way.
So I haven't looked at the because it's hard to find people to run RuneQuest for, or I take that back. It's hard to find decent players, quality players who I want to invest the time to try and explain and portray Glorantha to them.
Yeah.
I have not, to my recollection, seen in the writing any meaningful capitulation so far. I know at least some of the people at Chaosium have done so, and it seems like that's the case with the new Pendragon, which is unfortunate.
Their new Rome supplement where they put pronouns in or something on the character sheet.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so this is referring to why we asked why Pundit has not made the Gonzo rule set as opposed to just the setting. The reason I haven't done that is that my perfect Gonzo game would just be basically DCC without pronouns. Yeah. Okay. Right. And the thing is, I'm sure that you own the books already without the pronoun changes, and they cannot take those away.
And I think that's how the World of the Last Sun game started.
Unless they send Pinkertons, but you know.
Right. I seem to
remember that. His Last Sun campaign grew out of his
DCC game.
Yeah. It was the campaign, and then Last Sun became a published setting.
Yeah.
I started replacing RuneQuest for hubby. It was his childhood favorite.
Cool. There's some really baller stuff in RuneQuest. Some stuff that I absolutely hate, which is and yet at the same time is somewhat endearing because it's the personality of the creator, Greg Stafford. We talked about when we were discussing within the Ring of Fire. The game is a mess in many ways, but some of that is, even if I disagree with it or it's ridiculous, there's a way in which I kind of like it because I sort of see the spirit of the creator.
Yes.
It's not corporatized, right? It's not bland,
You had said when we talked about it last time that it may be a contender for your favorite RPG.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the RPG a day, which we should talk about as well.
Yeah. I almost forgot about that.
List of things, and it's like one of them is your favorite game. And I was like, the thing that immediately came to mind was Within the Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the gut reaction. Like it's the true one.
And the
like,
gut, exactly.
It's like it is, I think, my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Despite its messy flaws. Yeah, it's considerable flaws.
Yeah.
It is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, Diversity and Dragons is here. I've never played or ran RuneQuest. Me neither. I will wait until Nick figures it out, and I will play in his game.
Yes,
eventually.
As well you should.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Played second edition through high school.
Oh, RuneQuest.
RuneQuest, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the new metal god. Oh yeah, because I saw your video, D&D, Diversity and Dragons, not Dungeons and Dragons, of course. Released a metal video today.
Nice.
Star Adventurer doesn't just feel like D&D in space, and yet it is D&D based. I will have to check it out. But
we'll have to check it out.
But I will say the space RPG that I am getting next is going to be Traveler.
Yes.
Because everyone talks about it, and I have zero experience with it, and I know it's like kind of required reading and supposed to be awesome. So need to do that first.
And
honestly, what's the difference between having 6 fireball scrolls and 6 bullets in your sidearm when it comes to the math rocks? It's only really description and side effect. I don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think I agree with that at all. Actually, I think the mechanics.
Well,
I mean, like the using dice pools versus using a D20 versus using 2D8. Like it all produces different
things,
feel and a different
levels of lethality. It's different levels of it. It's something we'll talk more about. I've wanted to do an episode on sort of why system matters and how system matters.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea. The Palladium Megaverse is awesome with integrating the system with the overall multiverse, although I should mention that it varies with results. Yeah, the Palladium books, Rifts in particular, is on the list as well.
I really want to play Rifts.
Yeah.
Frank, one of the people I game with in person every week, when I was moving down here to Virginia, he was in the process of running a Rifts game.
Mm-hmm.
I had a concept ready, but it fell apart for other reasons. But yeah, that's a game like the art, especially that cover I may have mentioned before. Like that cover is like the most heavy metal cover ever. Like this.
Yeah.
I don't know what the thing is. I know it's a thing in the world, but this lizard alien on a hover fucking thing with a
it's great. I think that's the Rift's core book, right?
Yeah, it's the Rift's core book. Like, it's cool as hell.
Pick up the old Cults of Terror. It has a great cosmology section. That sounds right up my alley.
Nice.
It's a symptom of their overall mental sickness. I wonder if they're getting back to the wokeness part.
Yeah.
Mentally ill people are quasi in charge right now. Frightening. They're destroying the fundamentals of interaction between men and women. Yeah, they are.
I mean, we could talk for hours about that. And yes. Yeah.
Agreed.
It's all evil and madness.
I work in uber liberal brainwashing land, and for years I was asked what name to go by. I would answer, and they didn't want to use my proper name, would grab my idea and order people to use my first. I'm not sure what that means. I am sort of illiterate, though, so.
Yeah.
I think that was Modifius.
For Cults of Terror?
I don't know. RPG Grandma, let us know what you meant. Because I'm not. In the future war, the metaphorical Churchill will be the one bombing Coventry, not the enemy. Watch as the result of this kind of.
Yeah.
Cohorts Cthulhu isn't Chaosium, it's Modifius. So this is the one. This is the Cthulhu Rome game that has added all the completely inauthentic sexual identity politics of 2023.
I see.
Pundit, I think, had a video about this, and he said, if they had actually gone with like the actual sexual ideas and morality of the time, which is very different than it is than even our consideration of what people think is like traditional values of today.
Right.
That would have been really interesting and really cool.
Sure.
But they didn't, because everything has to be, the current morality.
Current time. Yeah.
Now they want me to care about their sudden pronoun issues and demand respect they never offered me once in 20 years. They can bite me. Yeah, these people can go fuck themselves. You're 100% right.
Yeah, these people deserve not an ounce of respect or mercy.
Yeah. My last Sun campaign is DCC, and it's currently 10 plus years of fortnightly play. That's insane. That's so long for one campaign.
Yeah.
I'm sure that characters must have died over the course of that game. Has the party composition just completely like Ship of Theseus style been swapped out over time, or are they extremely high level?
I think Pundit has talked about, like, I think people have maybe moved or circumstances have changed. Like players have come and gone.
Yeah,
maybe
it's probably not
I may
the
be
same
misremembering,
players.
but I seem to recall a video or two discussing
the longest single running campaign that I've had, I think, was 2.5 years of almost weekly. And that was in high school when I had time and no other commitments. And that was fucking awesome. You talk about ducks, I'll fight you.
I like the idea. This is a RuneQuest. This is like I like the idea of the ducks. I hate and will never accept the sort of Howard the Duck aesthetic. So the ducks, and I won't get into it, but the ducks are they're a sapient race. They're like duck people. But they have this awesome antipathy towards the undead. In like the lore, that's cool as hell. But the creator Greg Stout, I think it was a player in one of his RuneQuest games early on. He just said, "I'm going to play a duck," and when they were commissioning art, it's like this wacky California fucking idea, like, oh, wouldn't it be funny, to play like no. That's if
an idea for your game starts with "wouldn't it be funny," throw the idea in the trash.
This is a big like issue I have with like jokes or comedy written in any kind of media, but especially for like TTRPGs, trying to be immersive, trying to get in character and to role play. If you're like playing a comedic character, or there are elements of a situation or a setting or what have you that are naturally funny within the context of the setting, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But like winking at the camera, like breaking the fourth wall, having, something that's out of game funny.
If it's
or because it's referenced, like, oh, it's Middle Earth, or it's a Bronze Age fantasy world. Like, oh, look, it's Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Like I really don't like that. Again, with the possible exception of a gonzo setting, but even a gonzo setting needs to have some kind of unifying accent.
It has to make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't just be everything is random. Like there has to be some sort of a structure to. Yes.
So
yeah.
I like the ducks, don't like the art for the ducks.
Be sure to pick the right Traveler edition, which of course everyone has a different opinion of which one that is.
I only accept Shauner's opinion.
Yeah.
On this.
Which is I think Mongoose Traveler 2nd edition, I think is what he prefers.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I will be accepting only Shauner's opinion on that.
Yeah.
I have Traveler, but I haven't found enough folks to play it yet. I mean, that's what getting online is for, man. You gotta find some. You might not be able to, like, obviously playing in person is ideal. You sacrifice a lot by playing online, but you can find good players online who want to play a similar game as you, and that is better than not playing.
Yes, agreed.
But remember, not playing is better than playing in a bad game.
Without a question.
Without question. It doesn't always feel that way, but it is true.
Yeah, so harass Shauner on his channel until he runs a Traveler one-shot for you.
Don't tell them it's Traveler. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the original Traveler, no one to play it with. See, you guys should play together.
There you go.
Come on.
We're just bringing people together.
Yeah, exactly. 4th edition of Traveler was universally panned, right? I tried running a short adventure, and I think the rulebook omitted a key table. It's just not there. That would fucking
That's
suck.
funny.
Yeah.
But do not know.
Took me time to get the book, was out of print. When I finally got one, they came out with an update. Oh god. That sucks.
Millions must die.
I just played Mongoose 2E Traveler, had a hoot. Perfect.
Nice.
I think that's the one that Shauner recommends.
Okay.
Sold a lot of games after a divorce 16 years ago, worth a lot more now. Yeah. I didn't have to sell games after my divorce, thankfully, but I had gotten rid of them prior to that during a move, which was a mistake because now I'm buying them all again.
Yep.
We're doing Mongoose Traveler right now and enjoying it. I'm playing rather than running it. That's great. Cool. I mean, I think you have earned a spot to be a player after having run a single campaign for like 30 years or whatever it is from your Birthright campaign. Which, by the way, I wish that they had a print-on-demand version of Birthright on drive-thru. They don't. It's only the fucking PDF. So frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be in East Tennessee now. Even Orlando was getting overrun by the woke mafia when I moved there 3 years ago. It kind of just depends on where you live, because now it's literally like the blue places are getting bluer, the red places are getting redder. Like everyone is separating, which I'm okay with, frankly.
Yeah.
But if you live in a blue area and you don't want to be in a blue area, get the fuck out, because it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
RPG Grandma, I wanted to buy the Mongoose edition, but I can't figure out which one is on drive. It is on drive-through. Anyone else? How do I know if I'm getting that edition when I buy a copy of Traveler? Professional names should be Mr., Miss, or Mrs. whatever, and I am Mrs. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Mongoose Traveler is a good time. Great game. And I actually prefer the Rifts Ultimate Edition cover, though that is probably because that version of Rifts was second or third RPG I ever got. Yeah, I mean, nostalgia is
a thing.
It is a powerful,
it's legitimate.
Force. Yeah.
It's a legitimate thing. If you understand, if you're not lying to yourself or lying to other people, like, that's, the emotional connection you have does mean something. It's like I've talked about Pathfinder. It's in many respects, certainly the people who make it are enemies of mine. It doesn't encourage the type of gaming we are advocating for, but the first game I ever played, and like, it is what it is.
There's one PC and pundits group who has lasted the longest, and his name is Bill the Elf. Yeah, and that's where the Last Sun campaign lives, I believe, the audio logs of that. I was a player and used the ref's manual. Second edition looked different than the other first edition. That must be Traveler related. Referring to the Last Sun campaign, it's been a very open game. Some players only played for a few weeks or months, others for years. Only Bill the Elf remains from the start, and he's the only PC that didn't die. Okay, yeah, so he must be maxed out level.
Yeah. Godlike power.
No love for the ducks. More
they
duck
do
worship.
Yeah. Again, everything about them is cool as hell. And I've seen some like the Johnstown Library doing like realistic, quote unquote realistic, anthropomorphized like duck people. I'm totally down with that, and that is how I would present them in any game I run. But Scrooge McDuck or Howard the Duck, nah.
Yeah.
But they're cool.
D&D Puss in Boots, yep. Ducks were a bridge too far for me, but if some people like them, it's fine, I suppose. Wrong. If someone disagrees with your preferences, they are objectively incorrect.
Exactly.
Never give ground on that.
For any reason on anything.
No apologies, no compromises.
No compromises. Yes.
I'm not into the ducks, and I have a ton of newer minis for RuneQuest. The Wolfkin and Dragonbane are far easier to digest. Yeah, that's because we have legends of lycanthropy, like we have werewolves. That is a myth.
We don't have anything about ducks.
There's nothing about ducks. Yeah. Like the primal animal origins of the duck man.
Yeah.
Hey, funny, I just started a new Conan Exile character, and one of the crimes I committed that got me exiled was literally breaking the fourth wall and necrophilia. Oh,
it sounds like you belonged out there.
God damn, Justin's funny.
Yeah.
If it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, it's a very satanic duck. Man, we've got the best subscribers. We love hanging out with you guys. And again, go subscribe to Justin and go subscribe to RPG Grandma.
Yes.
Although I don't know if Justin still actually makes videos. I've seen him on a couple of live streams, but we're subscribed no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Last Sun is full of crazy stuff, but every single thing in it is justified by the setting. Exactly. Though the PCs might never figure out how. Yeah, exactly. That's how it should be. Because you can't have just weirdness for the sake of weirdness if it doesn't connect together somehow.
Right.
LOL so random is put a fucking bullet in my head. I can't stand it. I can't fucking stand it. And this is the thing with like the gold for XP and everything. To get back to this, to my autism has been triggered. My whole problem with this is it's like I want things to make sense. My brain likes when I have a coherent reality, and when it's literally like, no, but like it's not even just gold. It's gold you have to get from the dungeon, and once you spend it, that's how you get the XP. And if you were to just be a merchant and make money through like selling stuff, that wouldn't give you XP. And I'm just like, make it make sense.
Yeah,
none of this makes any fucking sense.
And it doesn't make sense. And I don't know. I think anyone arguing to the contrary is being
fucking stupid.
Dumb. Yeah.
Well, yep. Thank you. Breaking all the walls. Paranoia. That's the only RPG I'd like playing for laughs on any level. I do want to run Paranoia.
I'm curious about it.
That's another one though, where it's like, which edition do you choose?
I don't know enough to comment, but if the premise is the same, I don't know if it matters, but maybe it does. That's a game I feel like I'm going to hate because of the premise of the game. It sounds more like a party game.
Yeah, it's a palate.
Like not in terms of
this is not a game you run for a campaign. Because
right.
It's literally it's like you've got like 5 clones or something like that per session. They're gonna die in like horrific ways. They're gonna
die, and it's sort of off the rails, and everybody knows it's off the rails.
Right, and if you know the rules, that's actually a rule violation because it's above your clearance level. Like,
I mean, like some of that is funny, but again, it sounds like a party game.
Yeah.
Same thing with what's that game with the Jenga tower? Dread? I think it's Dread.
I don't know.
It's like an RPG with a Jenga tower. Like this sounds like a party game.
Oh man, you got to get out of there. California
you and Sean
sucks. I will say though, California, it's geographically it's the best state. Like just incredible, beautiful, every kind of nature you can imagine. Wonderful, wonderful place. It's been just ruined.
Yeah, would love to live there if not for.
Yeah, exactly. Mongoose 2nd edition is the current edition if that's what you're looking for. Interesting. Maybe that's not the correct edition then.
We'll just ask.
We'll just ask Shauner. Yeah. Pennsylvania, purple state here. Got to stay and try to fight. Wrong. Move to the red area. It'll immediately make your life better.
it's just Philadelphia. I guess to a lesser extent Pittsburgh, but it's Philadelphia. As someone who grew up in the Cherry Hill area, can relate to the hateful aura of Philadelphia.
Surrounded by crazy and wine country. Cali hell. Yep. Sorry, guys. Yep. California. The rule is your Glorantha may vary. Make ducks cool if you want.
Of course.
I grew up in Orlando, Kissimmee, under the shadow of the giant rat. Actually did contracts for them a few times. I do miss the in real life gaming connections I had back there.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we are planning on hoping to create a lot of gaming connections in Austin at some point. Austin will become some sort of, if we have our way, some sort of bizarre role-playing capital of the world. Bill has been 10th level, max in DCC, for 2 years now. My campaign has various paths to immortality from 10th level, but in classic Bill style, he's too lazy to quest me.
Nice.
Darkwing Duck is always cool, unless he's in a RuneQuest game. Yeah. You might not like Chalt if you don't like lol so random gonzo. Yeah. I don't know. I'll get it eventually. I really like the cover. Like the Chalt cover with like all the eyes and everything like that. It's really cool. And sometimes art is enough to get me to buy a book, even if I don't end up playing it.
Yep, several occasions of that.
One major villain in The Last Sun is the evil duck. Merchant class is a real class in Arduin.
Hell yeah.
10th level merchant is a thing.
I would love to play a 10th level merchant.
Yeah. Also, might I recommend a book I helped work on? Whitechester, Prison City of the Damned.
Cool.
I like horror. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to write that down and look into it.
Paranoia First Edition West End Games is the one to play. Okay. Yeah, because I know that like especially the later editions got really shitty. because they started leaning into the aspects of the game that everyone, like, it's known for being very funny now, because like you play in this game and people end up dying in really horrific ways, and that makes you laugh. And they were like, well, that's the game. Yeah, exactly. So it's like they honed in on like the really like the dumber aspects of it that were kind of like the emergent properties of the game rather, and made that the focus. Yes, Dread.
For the Jenga game.
What about Count Duckula? Don't know what that is. Paranoia is not a steady diet, but it is for moronic, hilarious one-shots. Ask about the Wile E. Coyote ending. Exactly. So this is what I'm saying.
Palate cleanser or a party game.
Yeah. It's like dessert. It's like eating a big piece of cake. You know, you do it once in a while after dinner.
Yeah.
Japanese movies and TV shows. Anything goes. One show I watched, The Evil Overlord, decided to take the form of a regular white chicken.
Damn.
Californians ruined California. Well, some of them did, for sure. Philly is a millstone on us. Yeah, I know. It's like if the cities could just become independent city states and let some of them fall, that'd be wonderful.
Or just burn.
Yeah. Or build the wall, but around the cities.
Yeah.
I'm probably one of the few far left liberals who subscribes to this channel. Well, we're glad to have you. And
yes,
like it is great that you can hang out with us. That means you're a quality
so you
person.
must not be liberal enough.
Yeah, you're not. You can't. Yeah. I don't think you're as far left as you think you are.
Yeah.
If this hasn't consumed your ability to listen to people.
Yeah.
But no, we do appreciate that you're hanging around. That's great.
Very much so.
We have no problem with being friends with people of different political persuasions.
Yes.
But then I'm blocked by a bunch of pseudo leftists on Twitter. Many such cases. You guys in Austin? I'm in Houston. I am in Austin. Yeah. So cool. Howdy, partner. I might go to the North Texas Game Con next year. I did not know about it this year.
I would like to go next year only because, well, not only because, but my buddy John, who released and has successfully kickstarted, and PDFs have gone out, not the physical copies. We talked maybe a month or so ago about Hell Train, a game my buddy John Watson put out. He goes there every year, and would love to see him as well. But would have to. I can't go to a con without at least 80% of the reason being to troll the people there.
I'm sure we would probably get some counter trolls as well. Yep. I mean, leave your politics behind. Yeah, don't go to ruin somewhere else. In San Antonio, very nice, not far. I actually never watched that, but I'll have to check it out now. In my video reviews of Chalt, I point out the difference between Last Sun's psychedelic Gonzo and Chalt's stupid Gonzo. I think I have watched that.
I have watched that. Yeah.
Whitechester was by Grim Gem with help. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I think we just subscribed to Grim Gem recently. Note that stupid doesn't necessarily mean not fun. Correct. It just means setting makes no sense. Yes. Honestly, my opinion on a perfectly executed role-playing game book should be double as an art book. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. That's one. I haven't finished reading it yet because I got Lion and Dragon, and that ended up being the focus after that. But Shadows of Esterin, by Agate Studio Agate.
Studio Agate.
Just gorgeous art. Oh my god, it's so fucking good. And I got the art book, the standalone art book, and it's so good. Count Duckula is a spinoff of Danger Mouse.
Okay.
Fortunately for us left in Cali, the people who ruined it are leaving in droves. Bad for you, good for us. It's not entirely true. Every Californian and every New Yorker, of which I am both in Austin, are like turbo based way crazier and way more red than the people who live here, even than the conservatives in Texas. If you've lived, if you were remotely right and you lived in a blue city in the last 10 years, like you are one of the crazier people on the right wing spectrum. Liberal, just not far left. We burn a lot for some reason. That doesn't stop the sprawl. Definitely will hit North Texas RPG Con next year. Nice. Cool. Yeah. Well, I will see you there. And please remind me of it months in advance so that I can plan for it, because I tend to forget these things and lose track of time very easily. Does that make you a commie trader and paranoia? The Evil Duck features in my adventure module for Last Sun or any console setting area against the woodland creatures. RPG Presents number 79. People watching at cons is one of the funnest parts. Yeah.
I don't know if it's fun for me. It gives me rage.
You've done it so much. Yeah. I have never been to a con. Nick has been to many.
Yeah.
Raised a hippie tree hugger, but I still love a shotgun, and I believe in everyone's rights and freedoms. Nice. Exactly.
Hell yeah.
That's the thing. I think might have been Van Halen. I can't remember who it was, but no, it wasn't Eddie Van Halen. It was who's the front man of Van Halen, like the lead singer. Why is his name? No, not Dee Snider. God damn it! Why is this escaping me?
I wasn't a Van Halen fan.
David Lee Roth is who it is.
Of course.
David Lee Roth, he would describe himself as a hippie with a gun.
Yes.
So that's very much welcome. Sadly, I had a boating accident last year and all my guns fell into the lake and got lost. Man, many such cases.
But also, that sounds like a hilarious and interesting story as to why you had all your guns on the boat that fell into the lake.
You're missing. It's a meme, you dip. It's everyone has lost their guns in a boating accident. I'm sorry, ATF. I don't know what happened to them. You know?
Nice.
I
feel like I've heard of Tales of Gore. I have no idea what that's in reference to, but that name seems to be resonant.
You have Lion and Dragon. Do you have the old school Companion 1? It has a huge amount of supplementary material for the game. I do have the old school Companion 1 and looking forward to getting the old school Companion 2. Very, very cool book. It's got everything. I mean, it's got like extraplanar adventures in Fairyland, a lot of really cool little encounters, expanded critical hit tables by like weapon type. It's awesome. This is, like I said a while back, Lion and Dragon is a game that I will be playing for many, many years to come. Actually, Pundit, I really hope you're still in chat. Do you have a recommendation for a good book on the history of the Rose War? I know there's probably not a definitive history of the Rose War simply because it's like so big and whatnot, but I am looking for getting a more deep kind of historical knowledge of it beyond what is present in Dark Albion. So the ATF shouldn't bother coming to look for him, and I don't have them anymore. Exactly. I have a blast at Chaosium Con every year.
You know, I would... I don't know. I love Chaosium games, but I wonder. These days, I wonder.
Define a far left liberal. I'm technically classifiable as a right wing liberal. Politics is weird now, or my Floridian politics are just alien to the rest of America. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of weird classifications now. So
yeah.
I'm like a Nietzschean futurist. Just wait for the next gun truck to roll through the neighborhood. Get you some more. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like in America.
Yes.
David Lee Roth, thank you.
David Lee Roth, yes.
Never respect a rhino red right winger because they're just waiting to be blue.
True.
I'm a member of the Democratic Socialists of America and believe in some libertarian values as well. Okay.
All right.
So you're kind of like a democratic socialist would be like Bernie-ish.
Like a Bernie-ish.
Although I would say that Bernie is not a democratic. Like his policies are not democratic socialist. They are social democrat. Democratic socialist is different. That is a more radical left wing. Yeah, so he is kind of a radical left winger. Mad respect for sticking around.
Yeah,
it's a different philosophy than looking at like Scandinavia as a model. You know, they're liberal. You know, it's like that's not what democratic socialism is. And then there was Van Hagar with Sammy as the front man. I'm Canadian. If I lost my gun in the lake, the federal government would make me pay for a lake dredging. Tales of Gore is based on the old pulp science fantasy book series about real men on a counter-Earth who raid Earth for female slaves and take part in a grand game between two alien powers.
Nice.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The Esoteric Order of Nerdity, you now officially the most sane member of that party. I've seen whether it's a good or bad thing. It's up to you. All right, let's see here. I am somewhere between a reactionary fascist and an anarchist in my schizo politics.
Yeah, same.
The War of the Roses by Gillingham. Let me write this down. Where's my note to self? There it is. Cool. Thank you very much. Very much appreciate that. I have Lion and Dragon, Old School Companion 1 and 2, and Sword and Caravan. Just need to find some time to read them all.
Yeah.
I'm holding off on getting Sword and Caravan simply because I know that I'll just want to run that after.
Right.
It's like just stick to one. Just stick to one for now. But that will be a purchase that comes down the line at some point. I did buy Social Encounters though after our discussion that we had on the live stream with you. And I'm currently writing about social mechanics, largely based on that discussion. Gore is a fantasy book series in which men rule supreme, women slaves, but has some cool ideas in it. I think the author was so-so. War of the Roses history. I hear A Distant Mirror is a good one, but I haven't read it. Be interested to hear what Pundit says about it. Bernie's political policies are lobby until somebody gives you a Lamborghini, then retire. Yeah, I mean, can't blame him for that.
Yep.
I call myself now a tie-dye conservative.
Fair enough. Oh, Lou.
Nice to see you, man. Lou is a good friend of ours. He has run probably more within the Ring of Fire games than anyone, and is a fantastic GM. And I believe he actually GMs. He might be one of those people who, you can pay.
I don't remember what the platform is, but
yeah. So Lou, if you want to shill your stuff. Yeah, go ahead. We are happy to shill on this stream. But I can confirm that Lou is indeed a fantastic game master. I have played in his games many times.
Yep.
If you want an immersive role-playing experience, this is the guy to play with.
Most definitely. Yeah.
And
let me know where your new place is, Lou. I'm going to be back in the area at the end of September, and I might pay you for some of the books I left behind with you, if you still have them.
Everyone should read the first Gore book for fun.
Yeah. Sounds like a nice pulp, classic pulp kind of era sci-fi.
When it comes to politics, I'm just saying I really like the Black Sun. Okay, buddy. Chill out. Chill out. If I recall correctly, isn't A Distant Mirror more about the 100 Years' War? And you're welcome, Lou.
Yes.
Pundit, probably been forever since I've seen a copy. A Distant Mirror was about the 13th century, focusing on France. I never remember what IIRC means.
If I remember correctly.
Okay. All those fucking acronyms and
memes
whatnot.
And acronyms. Yeah.
Viagen's Interplanetarius series is a sequence of science fiction stories by L. Sprague de Camp of Sword and Planet style. Great ideas, great humor.
Cool.
That sounds pretty cool.
I do like that genre.
Yeah.
A lot. I haven't read much of it.
Yeah.
So
at any rate, we're coming up on 3 hours, and I worked all day and my brain's fried. So I think it's time that we call it quits. But we thank you all for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. And it looks like there was quite a few more of you than usual. Our number is going up, which is the only important thing. It's all that matters. Integrity doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All we need is more number. That's what we need and what we want. So thank you for contributing to that. There may well be,
don't quote us on it, but there may well be another stream.
Yeah. It depends. Depending on some YouTube factors, there may be an additional stream, which will be a lot of fun.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do something real fun for that one.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, thank you very much, guys.
Yes, much obliged to everybody. Again, we say it all the time, but if you have, and we've said it in this stream, if you have a new YouTube channel, books, products you're making, like,
post them in the chat.
Post them in the chat.
Show them in the chat.
Post them in the comments. Whatever.
Yeah. We want you guys to get your products out there and sell them, and have people play them. That's really the most important part of that.
Yes.
But anyway, I think that's it. And
all right,
we'll call it here. No apologies.
No compromises.